hear myself through my headphones. Yes, man. Like, I feel real good about this right now.
Pay attention, because you are now listening to Permission to Speak Freely.
Well, that went that.
we lost Tish last minute.
We lost Tish.
Hey, it's our anniversary episode, y'all, without Tish, man. She was here, but, you know, as it started, so shall it go, I guess, you know what I mean?
Yeah, man. I mean, shit happens, man. Like, shit happens all the time, man. You know, shouts out to Tish. You know, this ain't her first time. You know, I'm sure it's probably not going to be her last time. She ain't going to make it, man. Like, she just ain't going to make the pod, man. And I'm talking shit. It ain't been in a while, but I had an excuse why I wasn't here. You know what I mean? Like, I was on the way out at the sea. You know, things like that. But I just want to throw that out there, Tish. Shouts out to Tish.
Hey,
happy anniversary, Tish.
Yeah, happy anniversary, Tish. So before we get started, I was just telling you about how it was so for the listeners, we do take things out, right? Hey, so just last episode, it was a conversation about Diddy that we took out. Like I took it out. Like it's the boat. It ain't gonna be an episode, right? And it wasn't us. It wasn't us. Hey, shout out to you, Catherine. What's up? We took that out. that ain't.
That was wild. That was wild. Like,
that ain't make the cut. But me and Tish had a little segment, bro, and it was the funniest segment, bro. But it was about you, and we was talking about how you ain't want to go to Washington State. You know what I mean? Because we was talking about like people not wanting to go to different places, and it was in there, but I took it out because you wasn't there. So, you know, I ain't want nobody's like, hey, Damon ain't here to defend himself, but that shit was hilarious, bro.
Hey, man, look. So let me talk about this Washington State thing, man. So when I went to Washington State early in my career, man. And one thing I said, man, hey, I ain't never going back to Washington State again in my Navy career. I kind of like said that, but I actually been there 2 other times since then, man. So when you bring up the fact that I was trying to get out of it, you guys don't even know the extent that I was trying to get out of these. I wasn't trying to get out of order because I knew in order for me to put on 9, I had to go to a 9 billet. So it wasn't the fact that I was trying to get out of that. I just wasn't trying to go to Washington. They had 2, 3 other carriers, man, in San Diego at the time that didn't have 9s. And I'm calling everybody. I'm doing everything I can do to try to get somebody to call somebody else and somebody else to call somebody else to see can I get on one of them carriers. I even called Bill. Bill Houlihan trying to see what can you do? You know what I mean? Can you do anything? I was calling everybody in Tennessee. I was calling Tennessee trying to get out them orders, man. Like
we was in the text group. Though. We was in a text group. And Tish remembered. I didn't remember she was even in the text group. And David had said, yo, I'm hitting up Bill, man. I was like, yeah, it's something I wouldn't do.
Hey, Bill, Bill, shout out to Bill, man. Bill put me on read too, man. He knew it. Bill, you put me on read, man. It's okay. I forgive you, man. It's no big deal, but you put me on read, though, man. Just throwing it out there, man. It's cool, though. It's cool. All
right, hey, y'all, look, let's get right into it, man.
Yeah, man.
That's wild. It's our anniversary. Welcome back, bro. Welcome back.
Hey, thanks, man. Hey,
when you leaving?
Woo. I leave tomorrow, man.
Damn, bro.
Back on the way tomorrow, man.
Yeah.
For almost another freaking month, man. So I had to come back and I had to get on here, man. And cause I miss it. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'll just be honest with you. I miss the prep time. I miss getting ready. You know, talking about these topics and talking about stuff going on with sailors up and down the chain of command. Man, I miss this, man. But I tell you, I got some stories though for you guys, man. You can bet that. You can bet that, man. But yeah, man. Hey, this starting to be part of me, man. You know what I mean? It's starting to be part of what I do. You know, so it's really a thing when I see you and Tish and I see the guests and I see all that stuff, man. Like, man, I gotta get back, man. You know what I mean? I feel like this, like I'm missing something. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I'm glad to be back, man. At least for one episode, then I come back and I'll be back in the fight again, man. So it's good shit.
Yeah. So I mean, before we move forward, I don't think we could go too far without addressing that ball cap you got on. You know what I mean? Because I don't know what that
I'm gonna hold my
is,
head
bro.
down a little bit
For
so
the
you guys can get a
listeners,
good look, man.
yeah, for the listeners, it say high class dirtbag. You know, and
Yeah,
I ain't really. I needed some more information on that.
Yeah, man. Like, first off, it's a hat. I didn't want to say that real quick. It's a hat, but hey, I went to a concert, man. Right? I went to Jelly Roll concert, and he had a lot of gear out there, man. A lot of merch out there, man. So I saw this hat in time. First, I didn't even see what it said, high class anything. I seen the word dirtbag on there, man. I said, man, I gotta get that hat right there, man. Then it said high class. I was like, oh shit, that's even better, man. You know what I'm saying? High class dirtbag. So
crazy,
I actually love the hat, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? But that's what it is. Don't get it twisted, guys. It's just a hat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I do what I do, man. You know what I mean?
I hope so, man. I really. Hey, so a little, like, just a little old to, because this like your first episode really back after being on the carrier for real, like underway, all that. So I went back to one of our past episodes. It was like my first episode after being on the carrier. I was only on that bitch for 3 days. I don't know if you remember, like, but I was tipsy on that episode. The episode's called A Whole Plethora of Things. I was tipsy. My audio was messed up. Like, I must have just came in without even setting my mic up right. It was a lot going on, man. I was shell shocked for being on that carrier. And I think you are too. You were too when you first got there. But we're going to get into that. We're going to get into some anniversary stuff. We're going to get into a lot of stuff, man. But just as we getting started, you know, one of the things I was thinking about as I was getting ready for the pod was how come sometime like waiting for somebody to transfer is the way you fix a problem in a division or at a command, man. Like, that's sad, bro.
Sad but true, ain't it? Sad but true, man. A lot of things, man, when we come, I think sometimes we be set in the ways, and you got to figure out how to maneuver, because if you do too much, you can actually make the problem worse. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can make it worse. So is it better to go in and do something right now? Or you know what? This problem I got 2 months left. You know what I mean? Can it get any worse? You know it's going to get better in 2 months. So is it worth it? You know, those are the type of things that you have to think about as leaders, man. I hate to say it like that, because it's easy for me to go in there and say, hey, it's easy for us to go in there and handle that problem. But I feel like sometimes, man, if it's not getting any worse, you know, why engage now when you can wait it out? Unless, you know, it's endangering somebody, or unless it's like, you know, breaking something, or you know, when it comes to sailors and it comes to equipment, if it ain't hurting that, I'm making wait it out, man. I don't know. But it
some
depends,
people just shitty people.
Depends.
Yeah, some people just shitty people. Like, they just not, like, it's nothing that they doing that's like egregious. They just not good people. So sometimes, and it's crazy, like, for like the young sellers that listen, waiting it out ain't only a junior seller thing. Senior people waiting it out, waiting for other senior people to go, like, waiting it out. You be like, yeah, they got like 6 months left, man. Like, you know, we got like waiting it out is a real thing, y'all. It's sad, y'all, but it's a real thing.
It's a real thing, man. I'm talking about. I can't even. Yeah, most definitely. 100%.
David waiting somebody out right now. Hey, look, I don't know if it's true or not. David waiting somebody out right now. I know he is. Hey, so I recently posted a picture, right, with the CNO. I was with the CNO. So just to be clear, I wasn't with her. I met her that day. It was at a re-enlistment for one of our listeners, actually. So he reached out to me a while ago, you know, he said he lived in the neighborhood that I work at. So he came to visit me on a ship. Not on the ship. He came to visit me at the command. Since then, I've like went through his record with him, you know, helped him with that stuff. He want to be a Force Master Chief one day. He want to maybe even be the MCPON one day. So he got really good aspirations. Before he left my command, he was like, hey, I'm re-enlisting. And I'm trying to get the CNO to re-enlist me. And she does that, but I didn't know, you know, how accessible, you know, she is, you know, for it. He was like, I ain't get an answer yet, but, you know, we'll see. He had a date set. The date wound up being the same day me and my command did the our Navy birthday ceremony. So he hit me up. He's like, hey, I'm re-enlisting over here at this time. Can you come? Uniform is blues. I'm like, hey man, I'm not going to be able to have my blues on. I'm doing a ceremony. We got our khakis on. Can I still come? He's like, yeah, you can still come. So it was where I work. So I wound up going over to where he did it at. And when I initially pulled up outside, I saw security out there, or like these dudes that looked like security. They was doing all the security shit. You know what I mean? Like putting their mouth to the collar and doing all that. And I guess they was scoping out the scene, I guess, before she came. That's what it looked like. So we pulled up, and it's funny because where I work, I would know. It's because normally my security would know when the CNO was coming. So I pulled in. I just walked up and I found like another chief that was wearing khakis, like another out of uniform chief. I was like, yo, I'm gonna just come sit over here with the rest of the degenerates, right? So I wound up linking up with him, talking to him. And she came, bro. She came. It looked like she had some people with her, but not like a significant, like it wasn't like she had the whole wagon with her. It was just her and a couple people. And then I don't know where they went, but they dipped away. It looked like she was just solo. When she came, she met the seller. So she didn't know him. You know what I'm saying? So she pulled up, she met him. She met his dad. His dad was there. They talked. They was talking for like, man, she was talking to him for a while, bro, like 15 minutes, you know? And then she looked at, because he was still waiting for people to come. So she was talking to him as he was waiting for people to come. So it was kind of pushing back the time a little bit. And now I was kind of cutting into, I had an awards board to do. So I only had like a small, gap of time. So then she looks over. She's like, oh, well, let me, introduce myself to everybody that's out here. So that's when, I met her, I, shook her hand and stuff like that. We introduced me as the command senior chief of my command and not the host of Permission to Speak Freely podcast, which I was super happy about. Like, introduced me as the command senior chief of my command.
Yeah.
So then after that, she re-enlisted him. She went over. She did a speech. She talked about family. She did her whole, like, you got 3 families, the family you born into, the family you create, and then your Navy family. And she had notes about his family and stuff like that. Really, real close to the ground speech, man. And then she re-enlisted him. Some stuff she didn't do, she was like, man, I'm not. It's a couple of things she didn't do, but she re-enlisted him. She did the oath and all that. And I know he was pretty happy to be getting re-enlisted by the CNO. Then after that, she opened the floor. She talked a little bit again, and then she opened the floor for questions, which I thought was cool because there was a bunch of junior sellers out there. And so they had an opportunity to talk to her. The crazy thing about it was when she opened the floor for questions, that was cutting too close to my time. I had to go to the awards board. Yeah. And before it was close, bro, because I'm like, while she talking, I'm like, yo, I do not want to leave while the CNO is giving the speech. I do not want to walk out of here. So luckily everything was over. And we got right to it. And I was telling you this, for the listeners, just so y'all know, we tried to do an episode yesterday, the same episode. So I was telling you this yesterday that the question that I would have asked her was, because when she did open the floor for questions, I didn't want to not ask a question because that's what we do on Permission to Speak Freely all the time, right? Yeah. So I didn't want to be like, yo, like if she did happen to recognize me, like, yo, you the podcast, dude. Like, you don't got a question? So I was ready. But again, like I said, I had to go to the awards board. But what I would have asked was how much feedback does she get from programs like Expanded Operational Stress Control, PT, Command PT, and Sailor 360? Like, how much, like pretty much what's the metric? Does she see the metric and how we quantifying the success of these programs? Because all 3 of these programs are pretty much command executed. Some of them are more command-based, command-driven, but all 3 of them are command executed. So like, how do we know that? And for me, these are all 3 could be and should be important programs, but I know every command got a different way they doing them. And some of these programs honestly just ain't getting done at some commands, right? So I wanted to see, what the metric was and how do we measure success and what does she get from it, But I wasn't able to ask that question. So if she got anybody on her team, that was the question that I wanted to ask. But that was it for me, though.
Yeah, man, that's pretty good. I mean, you know what I was thinking, she probably get a good PowerPoint made for quick little rundown on how the health of a lot of things that's going on. But I don't know if she's will have the pulse of it though. You know what I mean? That much of it. You know what I mean? But I don't know. Of course, like we said, I hope somebody on our team can reach out and let us know. But I also want to add to that, man, like you met the CNO, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? However you did it, whatever the case may be, you met the CNO, man. That's some things that we go through our whole, career and don't get to meet the CNO. So that's a good deal, man. Like you almost like, you could, can kind of say you made it, man. Like, you done made it, bro. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
Yep, that's right. I'm running things.
Nah,
Yeah, man.
you just said something though. So hey, but before we do move on, I want to say she was super cool, super just authentic, super genuine, all of that stuff. But you just said something about what she gets. And I think about things like that because what would like the CNO get? I think they would get like the most polished version of a brief that somebody could give, whether something was messed up or not. It wouldn't be the like close to the deck plate, like, yo, this shit fucked up. Like I don't think that the CNO would get that. I think she would get more of a numbers based, like this is this, these are these points here, like that. Because like, how do you brief your captain on your program? Like how do you brief? It's always like neutral. It ain't like like gloomy. Yeah. Like yo, this joint trash. Like
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You got to polish it, man. You know what I'm saying? It's hard sometimes, but you got to polish that thing, man.
Yeah. What's up with you though?
Yeah, man. Hey, man, I got a couple, topics, man, but I've been doing pretty good, man. You know what I mean? Like from the first time I came to the ship, and now, and I will say, man, it's a big difference, man. It's a big difference, but I do have a couple things, man.
Like you saying you making a difference? That's what it sounds like you saying. Like you saying it sounds like
no. When I say it's different, it's just different from what I'm used to.
Oh, okay. All right, okay.
Right? Like, and which I'm gonna touch on a little bit during this whole thing, man. I'm gonna touch on some of my differences and what I think, man, coming from a small boy to a big ship and all those type of things I'm gonna kind of touch on in this episode, man. But I want to start off by saying, man, like, man, what these sailors doing in 2024? Like, what we doing? Like, and I'm saying that, man, the things that we are doing and the things that we are trying to get away with, man, I wouldn't have even thought to try to get away with back then, man. Like, I was kind of like, back then, man, when I first came in, I was kind of like terrified, to talk to my first class or my chief, man. Now we cursing them out, man. Like, we cursing them out. Like, and we can say all day, man, yeah, it's what we let sailors do and all this type of shit. No, man, like some of this stuff is like, we got to start realizing that we got a standard and we in the military, man, and we got to kind of like hold that a little bit, man. Like this stuff is getting so crazy to me, man, that I kind of starting to some cases that I don't really understand what's going on, man. Like we got sailors, and what's confusing about me, man, this is, I really do, believe it or not, world, I stay up sometimes, man, thinking about this shit. That's how crazy this is, but I really do be thinking about it. And one of them is, man, when young sailors come in, man, less than a year, and we've been to mass like 2-3 times already. Like, where that come from? You just come from boot camp. You just get to the ship and you it's almost like you back in the streets. Like you're not in the streets. So sometimes you want to ask the question. Sometimes I have asked. Well, sometimes I have asked the question like, why you join the Navy, man? Like, no, and we always say no one joined the Navy to mess up and things like that, man. But some of this stuff is blowing my mind, man. And I don't want to get into, I'm saying this, but it's a bigger picture when I say I don't want to get into all the details. But we are sometimes, man, I'm in predicaments and I'm listening to things that we're talking about, things that we're doing on the streets, like in the hoods. We are still doing those things, man. And it's kind of, that's why I bring up, man, like, what are we doing in 2024, man? Because it's like, it's crazy, man, that some of the stories and some of the even the DRBs I've been a part of, man, it's been like eye opening and eye popping. And I find myself sometimes talking to these young sailors, man, like to try to see where their minds at sometimes, man, like to see where the pulse at. But it's hard on a big ship like this, man. You can't you talk to one person, that's just like one, it's really like one person. You know what I mean? On a small boy, you could talk to one person, it kind of can multiply real quick. You know, it don't multiply on a carrier like that, man. But that's one of my things, man, that I really been thinking about while I've been on the carrier, man. All these young people, because I'm a young people guy, man. I love talking to young people. I love being around young people because I learn things from young people. And to see some of the stuff that they are going through, it kind of makes me sit back sometimes, man. I be want to just, wish I can just get them all together in one spot and say, hey, let's talk about this, man. And we kind of starting to do some of that stuff on the ship also, man. Like my CMC, man, he's good at trying to, get groups together and talk to different, pay grades and things like that, man. And he's really working some magic right now, man. And I'm kind of starting to sit on a lot of that stuff, man, even though I might not be the guy that's doing the speaking, but, I say a couple words here and there, but it's starting to come together a lot, man. He ain't been at the command long either, though. So he's starting to go in a positive direction, man, with that. So, yeah. But yeah, man, it's and I know you told me about your first time when you went to the carrier, man. It's most definitely some eye popping things that I'm thinking, like in the bigger picture that I'm thinking that's like, man, I wish I can do it more, but it's not as easy as you think, man, to try to, especially on a ship this size.
Yeah, you know what I think a lot of people, like leaders, think about? So I was in a position where a seller was talking to me in a way that normally, like historically, wouldn't happen. You know what I mean? Like in the situation, like the words and the conversation that the exchange we were having is not normal for me to have with a seller. One is just for the kind of respect that I gained over time from me respecting people. And then number two was the relationship that I've always had with sellers was not to go that route when it come to words. But the reason that I think a lot of people struggle with is what I was thinking about at the time was, if I shut this seller down, or if I check this seller in this moment, I'm going to become everything that this seller thinks that I am. So now I'm going to let this seller make it in a moment that you should shut it down, and I think a lot of people, and then I was also surrounded by people that I wanted to see this exchange happen so they could, it was some strategy for me too. But I wanted people to see this exchange and so they could understand, like, in the future now, if I wind up shutting it down or if I do anything, that it's a product of this. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of people deal with that. Like, I don't want to be the statistic that they already have for me. I think and I think it's a lot of leaders that limit what they say from shit like that, bro.
Yeah. 100%, man. I agree agree with you. Yeah, I mean, sometimes that's how you got to think about it too, man. You can't like that's a good example you use, man. You got to always be thinking too, though. Now, you know what I mean? You can't just fly off the handle when something ain't like it's supposed to be, or, you getting disrespected in that moment. But it's ways of handling everything, man. It's ways of handling, like you said, having a plan and having, you trying to get something out of it too. You know what I mean? For other people and things, because you're right. You don't want to be that person that's flying off and then this sailor never come back to you. But it's a way you can come back around on that sailor again, though. Maybe not in the same, place or the same, time frame, but now you can come back around again and hey, can I talk to you for a second? You know what I mean? You can address it like that. And then a lot of times everything's more calm, but you still get your point across, You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you want to. So you
Like-
most definitely got to think about it.
Yeah, this seller was reading my nonverbals, bro. Like nonverbal. Like if I look confused, it's like, oh, like if you had a problem with me. It was a lot, bro. Like I had never been through nothing like this just with a seller. You know what I mean? And I'm starting to notice that now. Like the more places you go, you start to meet like these enigmas. Like, damn, I ain't never been through no shit like this.
Yeah.
Like this here. Like, you know what I mean? So you start to be like, you know, but yeah, you know, that's that. But I did a DRB this week too, man. We came in. So for the listeners, we did an episode. It's just not out yet. It's going to be a bonus episode. But I came in on that episode a couple minutes late because I was at a DRB. Super long DRB, man. But I wanted, and like you said, it wasn't no raising no voices. It wasn't no cursing. It's just a whole lot of questions, trying to figure out what's going on, fact finding, trying to pull the seller kind of into this world that I want the seller to be in. And the world I want the seller to be in is like, why are we like holding everything at our level? You know what I mean? And I was kind of, I can't get too deep into, you know, it's DRB, but just why are we, like, it's like every process that we have is just ignored. Like, why are we ignoring every single process? You know, it's things in place to deal with this. It's things in place to deal with that. It's like, what's going on? Do we not know it? Do we not have faith in the chain of command? Like, what's the problem? How do we fix it? You know, so it was a lot of questions. And then it was two sellers, man. You know, it lasted, bro. And some people are going to be like, that's ridiculous. But it lasted like 5 hours, bro. You know, between the two sellers, it lasted 5 hours. 4 chiefs, you know, not even like 24 chiefs. And like I said, straight like conversation style, bro. Like just questions, bro. It wasn't no yelling. Nobody got up. Like no knife. I made a mistake and did a knife hand. Like, but it was at a point when I was like a little emotional, but I was emotional about like, why are we not? I get real emotional about when sellers don't report, but also say the system is messed up, but never reporting shit. You know what I mean? So when we never reporting and we don't trust nothing or nothing like that, that's kind of why we even started a pod. Things like that kind of cooked into why we even started the pod. Happy anniversary to us, by the way. But it's like, you're not giving the command a chance. You know, and I say it all the time. If your chief sucks, you know, go to your CMC. If your CMC ain't fixing a problem, or you could probably go to your DLC, whoever. But if that person ain't fixing the problem, go up. If it get to your CO and your CO not fixing the problem, it's ways to redress the CO, or it's ways to get other people involved to fix problems. It's no problem stopping at somebody at your command. You know what I mean? Like somebody will fix and address it. It's people that went to Congress to fix problems. People that went to the public, you know, news to fix problems. We got to stop. And I don't know why we do it. And I would love for some sellers to talk about it, but you got to stop acting like somebody at that is like, what is it, Thanos or whatever? Like somebody at that command just got a handle on like the powers that be over everything you could do. Like, no, you know, and I know how bullying is. I get all that stuff, man. But if you go to the right person, the system should protect you. And I know that is also know that some people wasn't protected by the system. I get that too. I understand that. I understand that as well. So I'm more talking about the gamble of the system protecting you. But more often than not, people just don't go.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I do got a couple of questions, man, since you brought up DRB, man. Like the process, man.
Yeah.
The process of DRB, man. Is it holding any weight anymore? And I know you don't have to answer all this question, man. I know in your situation is a little bit different now, but if you can or you want to touch on it, you can. But I just want to talk real quick about it, man. Like the process of DRB, right? When I'm saying it, I'm asking to myself, like, is this process working anymore, man? Right? I've been doing these DRBs, man, since 2011, man. Like seeing them, and every year it seems like it's getting crazier and crazier, man. Like, and I don't necessarily think now, since where I'm at right now, the command I'm at right now, I kind of think that the kids now and senior people too are so much smarter now that they know exactly what to say. You know what I mean? Like if the conversations get too tough, they know what to say. You know what I mean? I don't want to, I want to like remain silent. I don't want to blow up. They know these things now when it comes to, they know it's only a, recommendation. That's all we do. We trying to fact find, like you said before. Those are things we're trying to do. Does it hold any weight? Yes, because we can, get you out of a lot of shit too, though. We can say, okay, you are telling the truth. You know what I mean? Let's kill this right here. We can do that also, but at the same time, I don't know if it's like these sailors, man, look, the disrespect that comes through the mess, and it's up and down the chain of command. Trust me, this ain't all junior sailors that come to DRB. When I talk about DRB, I'm not talking about only junior sailors.
Yeah.
Right? So let me make sure that's clear too, man. But I'm here to tell you, man, like I pose this question for everybody that's out there, man. Like, is it DRB holding the weight that it used to? And for me right now, I'm going to tell you no, because I remember when I thought I was going to DRB for something that I wasn't even involved with it when I was a junior sailor, man. I was shaking in my boots, man.
Mm-hmm.
I was scared to freaking death, man. Like, I'm going to DRB, man. What? I was scared, right? Like, I remember like not even going out the next day, leaving the ship because I was so scared. I was thinking about what I'm going to say, how I'm going to say it. And I wasn't involved with this. I'm trying to talk to people about, I wasn't even there. It wasn't me. You know what I mean? I'm trying to figure all this out because I was that scared, man. But now it's like, I'm wired. You got to kick people out 3 or 4 times because how they walking into DRB. You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy, man. But that's the question I pose, man, for DRB, man. I want to know if it got any weight, man. So you guys holler at me, man, and let me know you guys' thoughts on it, man. Like on DRB.
Yeah, I like to think it had weight. I did see like a seller in the comments, in like some comments. Well, I saw a post on like TikTok and a bunch of sellers were in the comments pretty much saying like DRB didn't hold no weight to them. Like a bunch of them was saying like, who cares about DRB? Our counsel, they was talking about counseling shit. Somebody was like, man, I've been to DRB 3 times. What's a counseling shit? You know what I mean? Like, so like that was, what it was. And I mean, and the real thing is, if you read any leadership book outside the Navy, they you could fire people. You know what I mean? It's ways to get people out of here. You know what I mean? And sometimes people just need to go with the processes, man. Write them up, counsel them. Like, it don't matter if it don't mean nothing to you. After 3 of these, you're going to DRB, you're going to, then after this, you got to go. A lot of people don't want to do that to somebody's life and their career. Now, what I did before my DRB was, because you talked about, sellers knowing what to say and all that. I also think people need to be prepared. This is my personal thought. I think the people at the DRB need to be prepared to do more than just probe like on the spot, like come up with shit on the spot. I get it. We got the magic, got a mess and all that stuff. But what I did on my last DRB, because it was important to me, the case was important to me, and I wanted to get somewhere with it. I sat with the case the night before, like the whole investigation, and wrote out questions, bro. I wrote all my questions out, everything I had to say. And I asked them all. I didn't miss one. And then I had questions for my chiefs before the DRB started, because I'm talking about sellers that's not the same rate as me. So it's a couple of acronyms, some things I want to understand. So first thing I did was ask my chiefs. And then, we went and we did the DRB with those questions that I had ready to go written down already. You know what I mean? So if you prep, you got something that you drive into and something that you want to know. And then it was like I said, it's 2 different sellers. And from like the first 3 to 4 questions, I was able to understand like what I was going to need to work on with the seller later. Because I look at DRB, it's a corrective device. It's a fact-finding thing to go to NJP and all of that. But it's like, I don't hate a seller for going through there. Some people like hate the seller. You know what I mean? Like, that's not something I do. That ain't my job to like hate you for going through DRB. My job is to figure out like, damn, what can we work on after this? You know what I mean? So, and I think by like question 4, and maybe this is what all CMCs and SELs kind of learned throughout their time. But by like question 4, I know, like, oh shit, okay, so this is the road we going down for both, 2 different sellers, 2 different roads. And some of the questions was the same because it's like the same case. So I think it's a positive thing, man. I'm not sure if the perception of it to like young sellers is that it holds weight, but I think it's still effective in the job that it's supposed to do. You know what I mean? Because you could get there and be like, yo, I ain't saying nothing. All right, well, you're probably going to go to mass. If, you can't, like, you're not going to leave there like, hey, I ain't even say nothing. And like, now I'm still going to mass. Yeah, you didn't say anything. You know what I mean? We had a seller and people when their COs talk too, like the CO kind of talks to, the C-Sal or the CMC. And it's kind of like an idea, the thought process. It's a case. So it's some thoughts and stuff like that. And, we had seller, like somebody like, yo, lawyer up, do all this stuff. It's like, and I already know, I'm like, yo, this dude, like, he don't need to do all that though. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I can't really talk about it like during the thing. It's like, yo, this dude don't got to do all, like, you gonna be all right. But I couldn't say it to him during the case. It's like, I'm like, yo, I just told him like, yo, if I was you, I don't know if I get a lawyer. You know what I mean? Like, you don't like, you know what I mean? Yeah, like we about to suspend your bus, man. Like, I'm not saying that, that's the best thing in the world, but you about to hire a whole, so, that's that with that, man. So I think it depends on, it's in the eye of the, it depends on who's looking at it.
Yeah. But it's most definitely a process though, man. You know what I mean? And you're right, man. That's all you really can do is just think about the process and what you're trying to achieve and move forward, regardless of the outcome is either going to be dismissed or it's going up. So I mean, that is what it is, man.
Yeah.
But
a seller could walk in that bitch like fucking Debo all they want. You know what I mean? Like, all right, you can, however you come in, it don't matter. It's like, how you leaving is what matters. You know what I mean? Are you leaving and you going up to X or Y? Are you leaving and, we was able to crush this at DRB?
Yeah, that's true, man. But you know what? This DRB thing lead right into my next thing, man, which I wish Tish was here for, man. But I had this thing, man, where I was just thinking about it, man. Like, and this comes from like listening to sailors talk, man. And it came from like holding it down for your Navy friends, man, when they put you in a bad predicament, man. You know what I mean? Sailors can put you in, your friends or whoever can put you in a bad predicament. And it's like, what are you going to do, right? And I'm going to tell you 2 different versions, man, for me, right? Put me in a bad predicament. And when I was young sailor, I was thinking about it, right? I still thought about it though. This ain't no automatic thing for me, man.
Yeah.
If you out there and you effing up and then you want me to hold it down for you, I feel like you probably not my friend, right? You should probably hold that weight for yourself. Don't ask me to hold it down for you. You know what I'm saying? When now I'm in the same predicament you in and I didn't do any damn thing, right? Now, an older me, it ain't happening at all, right? I'm not even thinking about it. Bro, I got a family, I got this, I got that, so it's not even a thought process to me at all. But as a young guy, man, you got friends, man, you be wanting to be like, all right, man, it's ride or die. You know what I mean? It's ride or die for my friends, you know what I'm saying? And I'm going to tell you, this whole thing I'm kind of trying to talk about here is case by case too. It depends on what it is. At the end of the day, right? It most definitely depends on what it is. But it is one of those things, man, where I was like, man, this sailor right here is about to do 45 days for something that they didn't have nothing to do with. And they like, I don't want to talk about it. I'm not giving no names up for something they didn't have anything to do with. And it's probably on video. You know? You know what I'm saying? So we already like know kind of too though, right? But the situation that we didn't know, we was trying to just find out a little bit more detail, but you was willing to do 45 days for it. So that was kind of like my question for Tish. I was say, hey, would you hold it down for them 45 days for something that you didn't have nothing to do with? Of course, Tish ain't here. But
Yeah.
but for me though, man, it's one of those things where it depends on where I'm at in my life. But if it's also has something to do with the fact that, hey, what is it, man? Case by case. So, for some of you sailors, I know you guys, it's a difference in honor and loyalty to a lot of people, right? You're loyal to who and who the honor, when it comes from your core values. So that's something you got to think about sometimes too, man. Loyalty and honor and all that stuff. But I'm here to tell you, man, like at the end of the day, this is my career right now. Don't put that on me. You know what I mean? That's kind of like my take on it. But every case is by whatever case by case. But yeah.
Yeah. When I was a junior seller, I was still really close to the morals that I grew up with. You know what I mean? And the morals I grew up with was we not telling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when I first joined the Navy, boot camp couldn't shake that out of me yet. So that was still in me. So in that regard, as a junior sailor, it wasn't happening, bro. I'ma just be straight. You know what I'm saying? Luckily, I wasn't really in too many predicaments where that was called into question anyway. But we holding it down. We did silly stuff. We did stuff, but we moved a little smarter than to get caught. And stuff like that. So, and if I ever did something and got caught, I was by myself. And I was able to hold it down by myself. So that was that. Nowadays, I mean, honestly, nowadays, I won't even look at that like that's in a conversation. In the role that I'm in, don't even play like that around me. Like, don't try to hook up the Wi-Fi on the boat. You know what I mean? Like, don't do that. Like, we're not even doing that. Like, I don't even think people would play that, around me in the role I'm in. But what the things they do is they'll like ask your permission to violate like something. They'll do that. Like, so then if something happened and it get found out, they like, well, I did talk to the C-cell and he said it was cool. You know what I mean? Like, so they'll do shit like that. But and then you gotta know if you gonna wear that, and a lot of times that might be a quick like, man, let me go talk to the captain, man, because sometimes people do shit to try to like look out for their sailors and stuff like that. You gotta shut it down when it first happened, or if it's a risk that you're willing to take, then it gotta be a risk your CO willing to take. So you need to talk to your CO about it in this role. But man, I ain't playing that game. Now I will say this: for me, the biggest transition happened was as I started getting more and more leadership roles, and I'd be holding down, I think we talked about it on a pod, but I'd be holding my sellers down, like this person got in trouble for some, or got caught doing something and I snatched them up, did the one-on-one, boom, boom, boom. This happened. But my division went under investigation when I was on shore duty. And the way they kept like trying to get out of it, like the people that was getting caught up in the investigation, they kept saying lack of training, they ain't no shit. Boo, boo, boo. And I was the LPO, you know what I mean? And I was training my people, but like they were going to make me the the scapegoat. And that happened, even as a chief, that happened, you know what I mean? But when I was a first class and that happened to me, my master chief at the time was the old McPon Smith. And I remember one of these cases, like he got in my shit about it because they kept pointing at training and me and all this. And meanwhile, I'm like holding it down, knowing that these sellers violated, this shit on their own. Like it ain't had nothing to do. Like they knew everything they needed to know. And I remember he got in my ass one time real bad. And it's funny because when I saw him when I went to SCA, I saw he was like the guest. So when I brought it up to him, I'm like, yo, hey man, hey, so, and what I wound up doing, it was at Captain's Mast. They did the same shit again, bro, where they was like, never got training, never, like, I don't know why people do this together. And I didn't hold it no more. They turned to me and they was like, yo, is that the truth, Ian? Well, I said, no. No, it's not. It's a lie. They did get training. We did do this. We did do that. This person knows how to do this. They know. Like, I just wasn't going to take it no more, man.
Yeah.
And I think that's what they were trying to do. Like, CMC Smith, former McPon. him and some other chiefs, I think that's what they were trying to do, is like break me in that. He said something that I didn't necessarily like when I heard it. He said, like, you're not a company man, right? And I still don't, even in this, even up now, I still don't necessarily totally agree with that phrase, right? But now that I'm talking to you about it right now, and I kind of understand, because I was holding a lot in. Like, I wasn't trying to, like, it was more about like me, really. It was more about me being seen as like loyal to these people that was not loyal to me. But it's like us being loyal to a fault. Like, yo, I'm holding these guys. So that for me, that was the beginning of kind of understanding that, man, the time, like my junior seller, like hold you down years, them shit's over. Like I can't just keep holding people down, and all they doing is the bullets hitting me every single time, bro. You know what I mean? So that was kind of when that switch for me was right there. So
yeah, man. Yeah, that's it's most definitely something to think about, man. Like when you in those predicaments and you in those situations, man, on how you moving, man. And it's easy for you, right? It's easy now, you know what I mean? Because I know you're not gonna put me in that predicament now, because I'm not gonna put myself in that predicament.
Yeah, like, yo, don't play with me now. Like, yo, we on deployment, like we on the Liberty Point, and you playing, like, yo, don't play with me, dog.
Yeah,
what you play doing, with me, man?
What you doing, man? Calm down.
I remember when we was at a while. We was riding with somebody, and it was like a questionable passenger, and a driver was questionable. I'm like, yo, who is this person driving us around, bro? It was me and you. It was me and you. It was a chief, and he had somebody driving, yo. And I'm in my head, I'm like, yo, what is this, man? Like, let's just like, you know. And I'm like, all right, this, you know, I think I probably mentioned it to him too. Like, yo, who was that, man? Like, how do you know that person? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you know, and then on, I'm like, I've never. This ain't, you know, and I don't even think it was like a bad thing this person was doing. But I'm like, I ain't getting involved. I think probably like a relationship that wasn't your wife type shit. But it was like, yo, I ain't getting, and I don't know that for sure. But I'm like, I'm not even putting myself in a position to find that out, bro. Like, nope.
You
remember that?
Nah, I don't.
I figured you did. I figured you did, dog. You was definitely in that whip, man. Yeah, I don't know if I'm telling. Like I said, I don't know who it was. It could have just been a friend. It could have just, like I said, it could have just been a friend from a former command. It just, I ain't like it, and I ain't want to find out any more about it. So I got up out of that shit.
Yeah. Whew. Glad we got out of that safe.
Yeah, bro.
Hey, man. So I want to say this, man. I want to give a shout out, man, to all the CMCs, all the command senior chiefs, everybody, man. I got so much respect for you guys now, man. Like, I had a lot of respect already, man. So I'm telling you right now, man, CNO, you know, McPump, whoever I need to talk to, you guys need to get paid, man. I'm telling you right now, man. I stood in for CMC on a 96, man.
Yeah.
Almost and changed my whole life, man. Boy, and then I'm talking about getting paid for CMCs, but I'm going to go a step further. You should also get paid by the size of command you at. Right? Yeah. Because I'm here to tell you right now, man, I stood in on this 96, man, and my phone was blowing up the whole 96, man, about so much shit that I can't even talk about, man. Like, I'm talking about, Thumbo, when I say wild stuff happening, man, it was some wild stuff happening up and down the chain of command. It was crazy, man. And then I'm on there like, what the heck is going on? I'm like, when I'm standing in for the CMC, guess what the response was? This is a typical weekend. I said, oh, Lord.
Yeah.
I'm like, good gracious, man. This is wild, man. Like, Whew, so I had to come in, man. I have to show you guys some love, man, because I did a 96 and it was wow, man.
Mhm.
It was wow.
Yeah, you know the easiest thing that happened when I was on a 96 was we had a sell. Well, not a 96 when I was filling in for my CMC on a carrier. We had a seller who just took leave to go to a wedding. So they was on leave, like out of state at a wedding, but they were also a witness to a murder, and the trial was happening in like 4 days. So they had to be there, but they wasn't supposed to come home till like 6 days later or something. So that was like the easiest. And then I think the murderer was like on a ship too, you know what I mean? But like not there anymore. Like you know, not like in jail or whatever. But that was like the easiest thing. Other than it was so much bullshit happening, bro. You know, when I took it, it's like, yeah, bro, like ain't much happening. I think my CMC went to like Newport or something. He's like, yo, you got it. The CO was going too. This is a carrier, bro. No CO, no CMC, brand new EXO. It's like, you got it, man. Boom, boom, boom. EXO, first off, me and EXO talked a lot more than I thought we would talk. You know, because I'm on like I'm gonna still be with the division. Like, you know what I mean? But, you know, again, it's a carrier. It ain't really happened like that. You know, I spent a lot of time. I did go back and forth, but I spent a lot of time doing CMC stuff. My CMC was there for me at night, though. He held me down. I think the last day, bro, like that, like after I left work that Friday, and I was so happy. So much shit happened, bro. Like that night, bro. I'm thinking I'm good, bro. I got so many phone calls that night, bro. It was crazy. But yeah, so that was my time. And I got notes, bro, because I was supposed to do a couple episodes about it. And I never did. I wound up becoming a C-cell and figured I could depart to hear, you know, my stories and kind of get but I was supposed to do, and I probably should, because there's a lot of shit happening on there. Like the XO, bro. Yeah, man. He left. The XO ain't leave before 1900. No night, bro. I lived on base. I went around base on like a random Saturday. The XO was there that random Saturday. Like he just was like, it was crazy, bro. It was crazy.
Yeah, man, we might have to do an episode. I'm standing in for the CMCs back in the day, standing in, man. It's crazy, man. Good gracious.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you did it.
It was good. I did a couple times now, man, tell you the truth. I did a couple times, but I'm having fun with it, though. I'm having fun with it. But you know what, man? You brung up something about some stories, man. And so the carrier back, look, I ain't no names or anything like this, man. But this sailor, my barber on the ship, man, one of the barbers on the ship was telling me a story that he got, like the situation he got into, man. And me and him was just chat, you know, just shooting the shit, talking about it, man. He said he had went out, man, with some guys, man, and he was with one of the dudes that he didn't know the guy, but, you know, you can tell he wasn't, you know, he had a couple screws loose or whatever, man. Yeah. You know, wasn't talking a lot, just standing to the side or whatever. And he said he's sitting on the car, man, and he tells the sailors, man, that hey, man, let's go talk to these girls over there, man. That's over there. He said, nah, man, I'm good, man. He said his other couple was over here arguing and stuff. And he said he was watching them. Say the guy was watching them, right? So he said he walk around a little bit, around the corner a little bit, man, you know. And he said he heard like shooting and stuff, man, going on, like shooting and shit. And he said he come around. I said he started running and stuff. And said found out this dude then shot the guy he was with, then shot all these people up, man.
Damn, for real?
Yeah, he said one of the guys he shot was like running on side of him and say, "Hey, man, can you help? I'm hit." You know what I mean? He telling me all these stories, man, and I'm like, and then two of them that got hit was on the ship with him.
Damn.
Yeah, man, this is these stories. He just telling this story like I'm like, man, I want to pause for a minute, man. Let me record this shit, bro. Yeah. He was telling it so good too, man. I was like, oh my God, I wouldn't even know what to do, man. Like, good gracious, boy, it was crazy, man. Yeah, I had to get that story in, man. That was funny.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But yeah, man. Yeah, I tell you, man. Like we be doing this thing on the ship, man. Right, where we had these discussions, man. So one of the discussions was why is it hard to hold people accountable, how like for simple things like, uniform infractions and things like that, man. Why is it so hard for us to say something about something that we learn as early as boot camp coming into the Navy, but it's hard for senior people or junior people or your peers or whoever, conversations for you to talk about. Why is it so hard for that, man? So I'm here to tell you, man, that it's really pretty complicated, man, because it's different things, right? Are you trying to be the cool person, right? Like sometimes that could be one of the biggest things why we are not holding sailors accountable, because we trying to be too cool sometimes, man, to hold a standard. And my thing about that is, man, you can do both. If that's what you want to do, right? But at the end of the day, it's a standard. You're in the military, right? A lot of times people don't want to hold a standard because they don't know the standard, right? They don't know the uniform instructions and things like that. So that can kind of pause you a little bit on what you want to do and how you want to address things. So my thing is for all that, man, is like, get knowledgeable, right? Hold the standard. And you don't have to be a yeller. You don't have to put them at attention to get your point across, right? Sometimes, that's what we talking about all the time, man. We like we think you have to go in there and just like degrade somebody to get your point across when it comes to addressing situations, man. But you don't have to, right? You can just say what you have to say and move on, man. And like, I used to do this thing where, a lot of sailors come to me, and I always want sailors to come to me. So I always think about what I'm going to say, because I want a sailor always to be like, hey, I can go talk to Master Chief. Like, he's going to listen to me, right? So if I go in there, always mad, always pissed off, always yelling, they're probably not going to come talk to me, right? So I always just like address things like this. And everybody got their own ways of doing things. But one of my ways I used to just do things is I like, hey, I come up to a sailor that got some type of infraction, and I'll be like, hey, man, or a young lady, I say, hey, do you want people talking to you all day about this? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because this is what's going on. Hey, do you want them to talk to you all day about it? Because they going to. So if you can go fix that, that'd be great. You know what I mean? Something like that. Easy. That's easy. Two ways that can go. One, they can like not respond, but go fix it. Or they'd be like, hey, thank you. Ain't nobody, I done walked all day like this and no one said anything. So, thank you. You know what I mean? A couple ways it can go, man, but we have to figure that out though. That has to be figured out because it has to be addressed. Because if it don't be addressed, we are now letting something else go, right? Something else can happen or whatever. So whatever that is, man, I think it's an issue, man. And I love to hear your thoughts on that, man. Like, why do you think that, or if you think that?
Yeah, I mean, it's true. I mean, I think like uniform standards are the lowest level of standard that we can enforce. I think is the uniform, because it's really black and white. It's written, like we all have it to see it. It's our appearance. It's how we look. It's not even like a integrity thing as far as like gun decking or something like that. It's, hey, how did you look today when you put your uniform on, right? So that's easy. Like nobody should be really violating that, really. Honestly, it's super easy. It's already, So I think it minimizes what some people think about it. Nowadays, you got some sellers that think, and I mean, I just saw a conversation on our Instagram where a seller felt like correcting somebody for something as small as like the color of their socks is bad leadership. Quote, bad leadership, correcting somebody for something as small as their socks. And I'm like, damn, so this person could be a great leader all over the board. But if they correct you, because you know how my mind works, but if they correct you for your socks, that makes them a bad leader. Like, and I can't, I'm not jacking that, bro. Like, I can't, you know what I mean? Like, it's so easy. It's right there. We have it for us to see it, It's not like we're ignoring the uniform policy when they swing into our favor You know what I'm saying? Like, even just like when we put the sock clip out and I realized like, damn near, like it's so many people that just don't wear the right color. I've never worn the wrong socks, bro. Like it's just, that's just not like how rebellious are you, bro? like, you know what I mean? Like how, like damn, yo, I'm gonna really fuck them up, man, with these polka dot socks. Like, fuck the Navy. I'm wearing my odd socks today. Like, I just never thought like, and if anybody correct me, they're a piss poor leader. I just never looked at it like that, bro. It's the smallest thing we could do. It's in the details. I mean, and that's in the fabric of what the military has always been. It's always been make sure your uniform look good, make sure your boots shine, make sure like why do we have to change from that? You know what I mean? So damn, is this the grumpy old man pod? Damn, Damon, you got on the fucking carrier, bro. And like now look at things, man.
Shit's crazy, man. Yeah.
But I think a lot of people just don't want to be the person, bro. Like a lot of people don't. Yeah. And it's like all you do is you lose, you don't know, man. You lose leverage, man. Like if you're never going to be the person. A lot of people don't want to be the person. So standards kind of slack, I got some stories about like developing standards and what people think, and like a quick story, and it ain't like a diss against nobody, but when you go sit at a brief, you used to like your CMC, you see on your XO, like kind of sitting in like somewhere together at the brief, right?
Yeah.
So when I first got my command, it really wasn't like that. Like it was like everybody would sit, and then it was like, where the fuck am I supposed to sit? Right? The SEL is like where, and I saw that fast, and I'm like, oh no, let me grab a seat in the vicinity of my CO. So I would sit to the right of my CO, and then my DCO sits to the left of my CO. And then one day, so I just made that a thing. And then one day somebody sat like where I would sit, and I asked, I'm like, and it's like, so then you got a couple things about that, because you don't want to be the person that like is hype about the seat. That wasn't the thing. It wasn't like, yeah, I just got to sit here. Like I'm hype about the seat. It's a show of power. That's not, man, that ain't in my personality. Like I don't do things to like show things like that. But I just think that's the way it's supposed to go at the command. Like when we have a brief, I found out later that my man, and it's my guy, right? Shout out to him. But I found out later that he would just sit somewhere in the back. Like, the dude I relieved, like he would just go somewhere and sit somewhere. So that's what cooked into the practice of people of not doing it. So, it had something that made it a thing, So it's like, if it's your standard, if you wanted to be a thing for you, you got to cook it back into, whatever it is that people do. So I realized that when it comes to like uniforms, hopefully that makes sense. But when it comes to like uniforms and stuff like that, if you don't check somebody, and when I say check, I don't mean like Debo check. I mean, just if you don't check somebody though, they gonna go unchecked, and it's just gonna be more and more lax, bro. That's just how it is. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But like you said, I don't think nobody really out here wanting to correct people. People think they too busy, got more important stuff. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's like people be quitting. That's why the Air Force dude was like, yo, I'm going to manage this. I'm going to micromanage this. I'm going to make sure that y'all report this. I'm going to make sure that this happened, because it's not y'all ain't doing this shit on y'all own. And I had a conversation with somebody from the Air Force, shortly after that, like in a leadership position, about like what that really meant. And he was explaining it to me. A lot of people ain't holding people to standard. You know?
It's most definitely a fact, man. Like I tell you, man, that we have to do better at it though, man. Like, cause standards like the boot camp and things like that, uniform, those are the small things, man. You know what I mean? Like you said before, those are small things. What if when the shit hit the fan, you still got standards? That's why we start with that. That's why we start that in boot camp. So when you get to your commands and you start dealing with different things, we have a standard. We got instructions. We got all this stuff. If we're not holding nobody accountable for the small things, how in the hell we gonna hold somebody accountable when the shit hits the fan and expect them to do the right thing when it counts?
Right? People be out here lost in these lockers, bro. people, some of these lockers, somebody hit me up one day, right? I ain't gonna get too deep into them hitting me up.
Yeah.
But we was talking about the next generation of sellers. And we were saying that we felt like they, was good or whatever. What you laughing about?
Because I know. Go ahead, man.
So we were saying we felt like, the next generation is good. And like, the Navy is a good has. This motherfucker hit me up like, yo, bro, look, I got smoked with you because why would you say that? And he felt like the next generation wasn't good, bro. No, and it was, they don't, these people don't know what they doing in the lockers, all this shit. And I'm like, I can't really, and some of the things he was bringing up, I'm like, I can't argue with you, bro. I've been in the lockers and I'm like, what kind of valve is that you closing? I don't know. I just close what I, or they don't got the cards. So I've been in them predicaments where it's like, what the fuck is going on for real, man?
Bro, that's so funny, man.
Yeah.
Look, I was in this beach, man, and we was talking about some shit. And then this young lady said, man, this new generation of sailors just don't get it. And boy, she got so much smoke for saying that, man. She got some smoke for saying that. Everybody was like, it is what we got. We just got to blah, blah, blah. And boy, she was getting the smoke from that, man. That's why I was smiling, man, when you said that, man. Because, hey, my repair lockers, man, on this carrier, boy, oh boy, man. It is out of control, man. And not just that, man. It's like the basics, man. Like I think sailors know what to do, but I don't think they know why they doing it, for one, right? And I don't think they know the basics of things. They know why they got to close that valve, right? Because it's on the damn card, right?
Yeah.
It says close. But why are you closing that valve is what I think we losing right now.
Yeah.
Right? When we go to general quarters, I know I got to close that hatch, right?
Yeah.
But why the hell I'm closing that hatch is a question, right? You know what I mean? That's where I think we at, man.
Hey, bro, remember when we used to do the zebra shit on the DDG, bro? Hey, I tried that shit on the carrier, bro. We had to reach out to the sailor chain of command, bro. That's how bad it got. First of all, his uniform looked like it was glued on him, bro. It was so... the zipper was it looked wow, so that's the first problem. The second thing is he ain't know nothing. He just this random sailor on duty for his department. And I just came down. I don't know shit. I don't know what I'm doing. Boo, boo, boo. We had to call up to the highest level of his chain of command. Call him. Hit him up, man. Let's figure out what's going on. It was bad, bro. It wasn't the same.
You talking about my Z?
Oh yeah, my bad. Yeah, my bad. My bad. My Z. Yeah. I'm like, yo, where the and now it's I'm on a carrier. I'm expecting things. I'm like, yo, we got the cards. They like, yeah, we got the cards. You gotta blow the dust off. These dudes ain't pulled these cards out in years, bro. Yeah, dust off these cards and shit. We asked the seller don't know nothing, bro. He lost, bro. I'm like, damn. Yeah, carrier different, bro. It's different than a small boy. Because it's just, everything is just more close-knit, connected, so it's different. Carrier, you damn, like I told you when I first got on, it's people just walk past you, bro. So I, when I started making myself kind of known to people, they because people just walk past you. I'm like, yeah, that's what you was doing to me before I made, myself known to you. You was just about to walk past me, and we are people at the end of the day. This rank shit, I never get caught up in this rank shit, bro. Ever. I've never. When I was a junior seller, I never did. And now I never do. This shit don't, to me, I don't even want to get into it. It's going to sound like I'm going to sound real like a wild card if I start talking about how I feel about rank, man. I feel like things come with it. And most importantly, responsibility and access. That's what I feel comes with rank.
Yeah.
But hey, what up, Tish?
What's up? I'm here. Yeah. I got my shit together. Non-Navy question. Are y'all, and I don't know about Damon because he's underway. Are y'all watching the Penguin show?
I just watched the first episode last night, and I'm finna watch probably 2 of them tonight. Hey,
bro,
The Penguin show?
Hey, it's called The Penguin. Hey.
It's called The Penguin. It's Batman, the Batman villain. The Penguin from Batman.
Oh,
yeah. And it's on,
okay. I did hear something. Is it good?
Oh, yeah, it's an HBO show.
You already know it's good when it's on there, man.
That shit is bang. That shit is incredible.
I'll check it out.
When HBO do that after the show, we gonna talk about the show. Like that's when you know it's good. you know, the Penguin is really good.
Yeah,
and it's Colin Farrell, bro. You know that, right? Is Colin Farrell playing that role?
Oh, you know what? I thought it was Tom Hardy.
No, it's Colin Farrell, bro.
Colin Farrell.
Yeah, so he got the makeup, all that, make him look bigger.
Yeah.
He's killing this shit, bro. Every episode, you only on episode 1, I'm gonna tell you straight up. Every single episode is better than the last. It ain't go backwards.
I might start watching.
I mean, it's HBO. Like when they care about a show, they don't play no games. Every episode is better than the last one, bro. Keep watching it. That shit is incredible.
Oh yeah, I am, no doubt.
It's another show on Apple I'm watching. It's called Disclaimer. I'm telling you, yo. I'm telling y'all. For the listeners, it got Cate Blanchett in it. It's directed by one of the best directors out there. Watch Disclaimer. I'm telling y'all right now, it looks incredible. Everything about it. So it's Alfonso. I'm probably gonna say his name wrong. It's Alfonso Cuarón, right? Or Cuarón, right? But he I think he is Mexican, but he one of the best. The movies he's directed in the past, always been like Gravity. I could go through the whole list of movies he directed, but I'm not gonna do that. But he one of the best visual directors out in this movie. And this show is directed visually. It's a beautiful show, but the story, wow, bro. It's about infidelity. That's all I'm gonna say. It's about infidelity. It's a death in it. But I don't want to get into it, but it's definitely a really good. But he directed Children of Men, which is one of my favorite movies. I could always watch that. And that's it. I ain't gonna get too deep into it, but definitely check this out, man. It's called Disclaimer on Apple TV. That shit is incredible. And they ain't paying us. I wish they was, but that shit is incredible.
Hey, let me tell you, man, taking lead just real quick though, it's a whole nother ball game, man. You can take lead while you're on the waves. Every damn thing, man. It don't even matter. You can get out under, you just take leave, man. It isn't what you got going on? Oh, I'm just finna go see the family, take leave.
Y'all see your
it's crazy to me, man. And so I put that in there, man, because I'm saying this to say I never seen nothing like this, man. Like some of the stuff that we're doing, and I know in a way I know why though. You know, because you got so many people that can kind of cover down a little bit too. You got more flexibility.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When it comes to doing things on the carry. So you gotta love that.
Yeah, we gonna talk about that later.
Yeah.
We gonna talk about that later, boy. That cellular land maintenance report. We gonna get into that later.
Ooh, yeah, most definitely, man. Most definitely. Hey, so yeah. But that's one of my things I want to talk about, man, with the leave thing and a small boy, man. You need everybody on that thing, man. You know what I mean? Yeah. You ain't nobody finna take no leave. You get on the way, everybody. You trying to take everybody unless you got some serious shit going on. You are getting on the way on the small boy.
Yeah, that should be important. That watch builder, the way watch builders on the small
Hell boy. Yeah, they do, boy.
Be important, man. Hey, let's get into sports real quick, man. We got on here when the Navy took that L to the Army, man. That was I think 2 years ago now. We got on here, man, and we gave some strong words to the Navy, do better, Navy was 6-0 last week, 6-0. Killing it too, 51-point games, looking good, bro.
Oh, wow.
And I've been wanting to, and the crazy thing is, people know I work over here. We're at the academy pretty much. Not at the academy, but I work by the academy. And I could go to the game. I got the ticket. I could go to any game I want to go to. It's just with the wife and the baby. Sometimes I want her to be with me, sad life. You know what I mean? But so I haven't been to one. I do plan to go to the Army Navy game. But we've been killing it, bro.
Let me talk about this. Let me talk about this real quick, man. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I've been on the way and doing things like that, man. And I wanted to get on to talk so good about the Navy, man.
Yeah.
Because I knew they was playing Notre Dame soon, man. So I wanted to get on here and talk them up and talk about the fact that, hey, you guys doing this because of, we said this on the podcast, and you guys went out there and started recruiting hardcore. And now you guys are like 5-0, 6-0, you know, but I knew I wanted to do that before they played Notre Dame.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I wanted to get the talking in. I wanted to get everything in because I knew the day of reckoning was coming.
Yeah.
I knew it was coming, man. So, hey, but with that being said, shouts out to Navy, man. Like, you guys are 6-0, man. 6-1 is still a great record. You already bowl eligible by winning 6 games. So, big shots out.
Yeah.
You know, now you got only one more task to do.
Beat Army.
You know, you only got one more thing to do is beat Army. Now, if you don't beat Army, we're going to be back on here again.
Yeah.
And we're going to be talking about it. But I'm going to go ahead and let you know, Dumbo, I'm going to go ahead and let you tell them what the Army record is, man. Go ahead.
7-0. Army undefeated, bro.
Army ain't playing no games either.
Army undefeated this year, man.
Yeah, they looking real good too, man. They looking real good.
Yeah, so we going to see. We going to see, man. Hey, so gotta do this, right? I gotta do this. I gotta do it the right way. Gotta do it the right way.
Right? And I mean really stand on it.
Nah, I gotta stand on this shit.
And I'ma stand on that.
And I stand on that. You gotta stand on that. You can't be crying like that.
And I mean really stand on it.
Yeah.
Hey, so me and Damon, we had a debate. That's pretty much what you call it. We had a debate about Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. And I know this kind of old news, but I got to stand on. I said I was going to talk about this. So the day after the debate and every day thereafter, Caitlin Clark had proved me wrong. You know what I mean? Like from the moment we talked about it through, Caitlin Clark proved me wrong. We just never did it. I think we only did like one other episode, but we never did like another episode to really get into the conversation. Yeah. It looked like they were saying Angel was padding stats, and there was a whole bunch of stuff happening. And Caitlin was she took off after that, after the All-Star break and everything. Like she took off. So I've been wanting to come on here for a while and say, like, and give Caitlin Clark all her flowers and say that she was like undeniably about to be the MVP. I wasn't able to do it. Now she the MVP, so I just look like late in doing that, and I look like I was jumping on that. But this conversation is old. But I just wanted to say that Damon was right in that conversation, and Caitlin Clark was the MVP in the making. And like I said, to me, I thought they was neck and neck until that day. Like after that day, that connection stopped. That connection stopped, bro.
So we don't get it, confused a little bit. She won Rookie of the Year.
Yeah. Oh, my bad. I'm saying MVP.
Yeah.
Rookie of the Year. Yeah. Hopefully y'all know.
Let me tell you, man. Like, let me talk about it a little bit, man, because Caitlin, I knew what type of talent she was, in college, and the points and the things she was doing, the incredible shots maker she is, right? But what I didn't know is that she was an incredible passer.
Yeah,
right?
Oh yeah.
I think that's what changed it for me in thinking who she was. She's going to be an MVP of the league as soon as next year. You know what I mean? She was already in the vote. She was probably this year. And I ain't looked this up. You guys can get on my ass about it. But I guarantee you look at the numbers, she probably was top 5 in the MVP voting this year.
I think she was number 5.
Yeah.
I think she was number 5, honestly. Yeah.
And this is a rookie, right? Like what I'm telling you, the girl is 20 and she was 20 and 10, and she had a bad shooting year from the 3-point range. That's her thing. Her thing is hitting threes, and she was having a bad year shooting threes, right? So if she get those things to 25 points, say 5 points next year.
Oh, Caitlin Clark was 4th place. Sorry.
4th as a rookie now.
Yeah.
4th. So I'm here to tell you, as soon as next year, that we got some incredible players in the WNBA. Don't get it twisted. I ain't saying it's guaranteed, but I'm here to tell you that she's that good. If she stays healthy, she's that good. Generational player. Generational.
Oh yeah, no,
So-
she'll have her day. She'll have her day.
Yeah. Just don't know if it's next year, huh?
I mean, you got Wilson. You know, like
Wilson a beast. Wilson a
yeah.
beast.
So you know, she'll have her day. And then coming out of college, it's a couple generational talents coming out of college too.
Sure will. Juju is coming.
Yeah, Juju. Yeah, so Juju coming.
is
So,
coming.
you
But yeah,
know,
it's some good
but
players
Caitlin
coming.
Clark is, and I don't want to. Again, that's me taking away. I don't want to take away from Caitlin. Is amazing. Like one of the.
Yeah.
Like I love watching her play basketball, the game. You know what I mean? So she's definitely dope. All right, regular people news. On to regular people news.
Yeah.
Trump just did Rogan.
man.
Kamala just did Shay. Right? And the reason why I bring that up, because it's showing that podcasts are like a formidable like source to get your information out, to have these long form conversations, to talk stuff like that. Rogan just said he turned down the conversation with Kamala because Kamala only had an hour to do it, and she wanted to do it at like her own place and stuff. And he felt like the best way to have a conversation would have been in his studio in kind of the way he wanted to do it. Right. So I can't, it's Rogan. Like Rogan is bigger than bigger than whoever think that he can accommodate them. Like he bigger than that. Like it's different when you're dealing with him. Cause I think he's the biggest media source out there, period. You know what I mean? So you kind of got to acquiesce to him. You ain't about to Debo Rogan. You know what I mean? So he ain't do it. He's like, I ain't doing it. You know what I mean? So, but just thinking about that, you know, and I'm thinking about like our Navy people, you know, who could have got ahead of the curve a while ago. You know, our naval leadership. We got the vice president of the country doing a podcast with Shannon Sharp, a fucking ex-football player, right? Hall of Fame football player. I don't want to take nothing away from him. And then we got a former president, you know, doing a podcast with a comedian. And we talk about naval leadership, you know, like still not willing to do podcasts with other people in leadership positions in the Navy, are a lot more junior than, you know, whatever position they're in, but other people in the same organization as them. You know, like in my opinion, it's just me talking, you know, we got to do better. You know, it's a lot of new like conversation about the military, the DOD, about what people can and can't say on social media and stuff. I'm seeing those little things going around about don't say nothing negative or whatever like that. Yo, come to these podcasts, man. Have these conversations 2.5 hours, 3 hours, however long. Trump sat there with Rogan for 3 hours.
Yeah.
You know, and just got it off. Like people want to know who you are as a human. And that's what Rogan was saying about Kamala. Like, I want to know who she is, just a regular person. You know what I mean? Like, get it off. Like let's humanize ourselves. And in the process, let's talk about policy. Let's talk about what the plans are. We got to get out of this, like this old school, everything got to be in a nav admin phase. You know what I mean? Like, put it in a nav admin, but then let's come have...
Or a town hall meeting.
The town hall that we got a digital town hall. Come on one of these podcasts, man. Put your regular damn clothes on and let's talk. That's the way people are receiving this information nowadays, man. So I just wanted to touch... It'd be like, remember we was going to talk about, right? And I'm a name drop. I'm a name drop for like a second real quick. Remember, we was going to have a conversation about ELD a couple years ago, and we wanted to talk to my man. He was like a dude I went through the season. I was in his mess. Now, listen to this, Tish. We're going to talk about ELD, right? Which is something that I feel like needs to be talked about, right? Like ELD should be talked about, right? So we got my man lined up, and then he hit us up. Then this round, like, and it's funny, it's our anniversary. Thinking about this, he's like, "Yo, I can't do it. My CMC said I couldn't do it." You know? And here's a crazy thing. I'm almost sure if I hit up Toby, like, "Yo, Toby, And Toby, the guy up there, he the lead guy up. The master chief of all that shit. If I hit Toby up like, yo, Toby, can you come on the pod and talk about ELD? He will come, and he'll come in however we want him to come. Like it won't be like, no, I gotta do this. I know this. Like I could call him like, yo, like let's talk ELD. My man, Master Chief wouldn't let him talk about ELD on a podcast. Oh, have you heard those guys? Like, do you know? Like, yo, come on, man. If you come on, we're gonna make you comfortable. We're not gonna have the same conversation we would have if it's just us. Like, let's talk about ELD.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to have to go. You don't always want to have to go to Toby. Let's go to like the chief that's teaching it and have that conversation about ELD. Yeah. You know what I mean? So that's like, so some CMC from somewhere told him I wasn't a SEL at this time. I put a lot of sauce on that CMC. Like what I just said. CMC, like I didn't put too much sauce on it. Yeah. So but some CMC from somewhere said like, hey, you can't do it to one of his chiefs. You can't have a conversation about it. I was so shocked when he told us. I'm like, yo, you can't talk to us about ELD like on a podcast.
Yeah.
Right.
Like you can't. You know, meanwhile, like I said, and I'm gonna shut up, but we got Rogan and Kamala doing podcasts. Come on, Navy. You know, and I can't say Navy all the time because it ain't the organization. It's people's choices. People would get up here and do a pod. And then we be having guests and the guests be coming back sometimes saying that, you know, they got little shit for doing a pod. Like, yo, come on, y'all. Like, grow up.
Right. Right. Especially nowadays, it's like podcasts are all over the place.
Yeah, grow up.
Yeah.
They got podcasts about anything.
I'll let us, man. I'll let your peoples, man. And then, I mean, I'll tell you this, though. Is podcasts is out there, though. They out there now. You know what I mean? Like even for the Navy, I'm just, you know, the Navy. I've been seeing, you know, on social media, a lot of podcasts, you know, people got a platform
popping
and out
up,
there, you know, talking about it now. So from that standpoint, I think it's becoming a bigger deal. But at the same time, man, like, relax.
Yeah.
Relax.
Right.
Ain't nobody out here trying to take your career from you, man.
Right.
Relax.
Like, oh, I may say the wrong thing. Yeah. Yeah. I've actually, for my women's panel, there was someone who she really wanted to be on it. And her husband was like, no. He's like, it can, she was like, I was trying to reassure him that it'll be fine and I won't say anything. But he was just like very, very afraid that she may say something or somebody else may say something and it may shine a bad light on her. And so ultimately she didn't do it. But yeah, a lot of people just have their reservations about podcasts, about speaking freely about stuff. The same thing that they speak freely about, you know, in the mess. So, I mean, just, and I know like there are some guests who we have had that have come on and they come on, they're nervous.
Yeah.
You know, and they'll hit us, hey, well, we're going to talk about I'm nervous. I don't want to say the wrong thing, but they still get up here and they do it. And I respect them for that. Yeah,
living your truth. Yeah. Like, and the thing is, you could always like request like, hey, let me hear it before you put it out. Let me, you know, this, that. Right. Like, you don't have to like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and then the thing about people is we so dynamic that like one clip, like I could go to like the Desmond Walker episode or the Bill Houlihan episode or even the latest episode with D-Guts. Like one clip could create some, you know, issues people might have with you. Then the other clip, they get something else from you. We human. Like we got different things about us. I'm sure people don't agree with everything I say on here or any of us say. You know, there's going to be things that people agree with, things that people don't. But we not like going to ask. I wouldn't bring up, like, for instance, like, let's say we had like the CNO on here. I just use the CNO as that. I'm not about to try to trap the CNO to get investigated. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to try to. We bringing up shit that's on the news. Like, when we talk about it, like, we got some topics coming up. All that shit is on the news already. Like, hey, like, what's the thoughts on this? What's the conversation on this? And then if we was talking to like a force master chief or like a fleet or something, it'd be more about like whatever they were a part of. Like, hey, let's talk about culture of excellence. You know, let's talk about this. Let's talk about that. It's nothing to be afraid of.
And then on top of it, we talking about it too. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna put you in a predicament like to hurt myself. You know what I mean? Or
Right.
whatever the case may be. Like, we having the same conversation. If you couldn't talk about it, we wouldn't be talking about it. You know, that's kind of how I figure I
Right.
look at it, man. So
Yeah.
And I feel like none of us are even that type of person in our own personal lives. So anyone who even knows us personally know that that's not even the type of people that we are.
No, I mean, I'm a radical. I'm radical.
God.
I got the dashiki at the crib. I'm radical. It's like, no, I'm just joking. I'm joking. I got radical on reserve. Radical on reserve, man.
In the news.
When it come to hip hop lyrics, that's when you go radical.
Yeah. I'm just joking,
You
y'all.
spazzing out about Nas.
Hey, Charleston White. How did Charleston White make it to our topic list? Hey, he just came home. I didn't even know he was locked up, but he just came home. He had a bag of money, but it was a Navy Fed. It was like a Navy Fed bag. And I was like, oh, yo, Charleston White bank with Navy Fed. That's it. That's the story. I ain't got nothing else. It's like that. Charleston White bank with Navy Fed.
Hey, you know, Navy Fed trying to get back in the fight, man. They know you gotta, you know.
They are after that, yeah.
They better try to bring it back.
They need to. They need
Charleston White,
to.
though, he's somebody that got him an account, man, for that $50.
Yo, you know him.
Hey, so Navy news. We ain't gonna stick on too much of this stuff for too long because it is our anniversary. We want to talk about some of that. But Navy news, the TRAM, right? So the Navy is testing a device called a TRAM, Transferable Reload at Sea Method device. So it says, and that's cruiser missiles. So game changing, Navy reloads cruisers missiles at sea for the first time. The Navy resupplied the warship's weapons at sea for the first time last week, providing what SecDef calls a game changing update in combat readiness. It was the Chosen. And they the ones who used the transferable reload at sea method, known as the TRAM, to load up Mark 41 VLS off the coast of San Diego on Friday. So testing it out. Still really close to the pier, I think. But man, that's big. Yo, that's on the topic list because that's big time, yo.
Hey man, for all those VLS guys, man, I just know how, you know, pumped up they be about talking about VLS and talking about the different type of FCs they are and things like that. So I know you guys are pumped up for that shit, man. So hey, that is game changing though.
Yeah, reloading,
you know,
doing
stuff at sea, man. You know how much that changes. Like, we go to places to load all the time. We spend a day or two maybe there, or a day, whatever, they're loading stuff. And now we can do it at sea?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, man. Yeah. That means you getting more things accomplished at the same time. You got to go out to sea to do some things. And while you out there, shit, let's go ahead and, you know, load up.
I mean, are you looking at it from a wartime? Are you looking at it from a wartime perspective or just an underway perspective?
I'm looking at it from all perspectives because we have to go out there. We got to train, right? So when we training, we have to do things, right? We have to have some missiles to shoot stuff and to do this and do that. And from a wartime thing, it's most definitely game changing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's most definitely on a whole nother level, man. I don't think nobody doing that as I know of anyway.
Yeah, because that's the perspective. I'm looking at it from that wartime joint. Like, yo, we out here, reload, shoot, reload, shoot, reload. Let's go, baby. Yeah. You know, I was gonna say the Navy put the switch on the ships, but in light of the latest Dirk news, I ain't talk about switches or nothing like that. I'm gonna leave that out. Another game changer is USS New Jersey, ship's first sub designed for women crew members. So they actually made you know, I would say modifications, but not necessarily modifications. Just when they built the ship, they installed it and integrated mixed gender. Well, when they built the ship, they designed it for women. So, you know, it's separate, you know, the berthing areas and stuff like that. So that's the first of its kind designed for women. Everything else was acquiescing to women and making space and stuff. Now it's one designed to have women in the crew.
Big time. Big time, man. Like, hey, anytime, first off, you know, anytime we talking about first, you know, it's always a big deal with us. You know, that's all the time. And now we talking about, you know, women joining the ranks of on the submarines, man. That's big time. And it's been too long anyway. You know what I mean? When we talk about it, man, like we've been like hearing about this, you know, happening for a long time now, man. Like it's always going to happen. It's going to happen. So it's a big deal for it to finally happen, man. And it's like, you guys don't understand, man, when it comes to diversity and things like that, man, you making a crew so much better, man, when having that stuff. So
yeah,
I'm sure this is just the beginning of this for the submarine class. So.
Yeah, well, you know, it says in the past 5 years, the Navy's seen the number of women in the sub force double and triple. But this is the first ship designed with specific modifications to accommodate women.
I got you.
Yeah.
Right. So I can only imagine where they were before.
Yeah.
Like where were they housed? Well, maybe they were in like the officer area.
Yeah.
They like, now we don't want
that's how it was. So my first couple of ships, man, I did actually like 3 ships in the Navy, man, been all male ships. And the whole time that I was there, it always was a conversation about being mixed gender. You know what I mean? But it never happened, you know, the whole time when I was on there anyway. So the first 2 frigates I did, and when I did the 56, I think at the time, I think it's mixed gender now, but when I did the John S. McCain, I think it was all male too. So yeah man, like times is just changing, man. Like I don't see it like in the beginning. I was seeing it as like, man, this is a big deal. But now I'm looking at it like, this ain't already happened. You know what I mean? We haven't done this yet. Like this is the first time this didn't happen. That's kind of how I look at things now, man. When I say the first, like what? You serious right now? So yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, do we need to start carrying rifles in boot camp like the Air Force? The Air Force just started carrying rifles again. Do the Navy need to start?
Nah.
Oh, for real?
I'm big, man. Hell no. I'm big on value, man. Like if you can show me some value for the Air Force, maybe. I don't know what they doing, what they got going on, but I don't know if I see the value in the Navy running around with a rifle, man. Like
so the value for the Air Force, the value for the Air Force is to put them in a warrior mindset, to put their and the Guardians too, to put them in a warrior mindset.
Yeah, we need to put the Navy as the motherfucking FFEs, man. Y'all run y'all FFEs, damn SCBAs and shit. That's what your goddamn mind in, man.
You talk about going to war. So, you know, somebody hit me up. Somebody hit me up. She was like, "Yo, I'm 30." And I don't know if she listened to the pod or she just on TikTok, but she was like, "Yo, I'm like 35. I got a degree. I wanted to join the Navy for a while, but you know, I had kids. You know, my husband. You know." She was like, should I continue with my dream to join the Navy, or should I just go for my postgraduate degree? You know, so after a couple different, like, little bit of, I'm like, damn, she sound like she living a pretty decent life, you know? I'm like, yo, do you know that we might be going to war in 2027? She was like,
don't be killing no dreams.
She was like, I didn't know that. She was like, I don't think I heard from her since then. Yeah. I don't think I heard from her since then.
Recruiting about to be down.
PTSF.
Recruiting about to be down off this pod right here.
I mean, hopefully we get some people that's
keeping it real though.
Like, hopefully we get some people coming in for that.
That's keeping it real though.
Like, you know, we might be going to war.
Yeah.
You know, you saying,
because it's real.
You saying you 35, you got a degree, you got kids. You know, you might not want no parts of this that we about to get into. You know what I'm saying?
It's about to get real.
And plus, a lot of people don't know. Like, even people that's in, like a lot of young sellers, people that, and I say the word young seller, but a lot of the newer to the Navy people, you got to tell them that. Like the CNO just put out the NAV plan. It came out in September.
Yeah.
A lot of junior sellers ain't going to pick that shit up. Like, so it's up to leadership to, it's a lot of chiefs that ain't picking up the NAV plan. You know what I mean? So it's really up to leadership to have conversations about it and let it trickle down to the sellers. Like, yo, we have a plan for the next 3 years to put us in the right path to go to war with China if we have to, right? It's all of these steps. It's this 33 step. There's so much shit here. Like, we have to have conversations, but a lot of people don't. I've ignored the nav plan, now I'm reading it, but that's recent within the last few years. But before the last few years, me being stationed in the DC, I wasn't looking at no nav plan, man. Or no op plan, whatever it ever was before. I wasn't looking at none of that, And it's man. A lot of info, it's what we do in there, that's not classified. It's what we do in there. But
yeah.
So you got to tell people, Tish, when they say they join, you got to say, hey, man, we probably going to war in 2027. What's up?
Just so you know.
We see it all the time too, man. Even in DC, man, like we talk about damage control and it ends up, we talking about war, man. You know what I'm saying? We got to be ready.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's conversations now, man. That's the kind of conversations we having right now.
Yeah. Speaking of joining, did y'all get a chance to check out the story about the father who joined the Navy again? He re-enlisted with his son with her.
Yeah, that's crazy.
How old is he? Like 55? How old is he? 55?
50 something. Like you said, 55.
55.
Yeah, man.
55.
Yeah.
How much weight he had to lose?
55.
57
Listen.
pounds. So that's one of the most incredible things, man. Like when you talking about the want to do something, right? You go in there, you get turned down, and now you finna lose 57 pounds, man, to join, to do something that you want to do, man. So you have the drive there. So that's a most definitely, you have the drive, man. But I just love that story though, man. It's just a great story, man. No doubt about that, man. And you see the pictures in the article, you know what I'm saying? That shit dope as hell, man.
He said his son looked at his uniform, told him how to do the type 3s with the blouse and straps and all that.
Crazy, man.
That's crazy.
So he joined. He joined because his son joined. He was already a first, right? So when he came back in, he's a reservist now, right? He joined. He's at 55. He joined, became reservist. He comes back in. He still had his rank, so he said he felt good about that because he outranked his son still. He recently made chief.
And that's crazy because that's what I was like when I started reading. I was like, wait, so he about to be a seaman recruit?
Right, yeah.
Because he had been out for
20 years.
20 years or something?
20 years, yep. Yeah. So he got out. And I think he didn't want to get out when he got out.
Yeah, because his family.
Yeah, it was family care plan.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like, yo, you got to go, bro. You ain't got no family care plan. You got to, bro. That's a different time.
Right.
Nowadays.
I was just about to say that.
Hey, bro.
You know what?
They were like,
look,
nope.
Hey, Dumbo, that's a question I got with that article you put out about that. You know what I mean? That employee, I want to know if that apply to that. That should apply to stuff like that.
Yeah, we're going to have to talk about employee. Like, I need to know more about that. But yeah, that's a crazy story, man. That you know, that just, it's pretty cool, man. And sometimes it's cool to hear cool stories like that, man. If y'all want to know more, we're going to have a link to the story in our thing. I don't know if we covered it great. Just a dad re-enlisted in the Navy inspired by his son. At 55, he had to lose a bunch of weight and do a bunch of stuff so he could get in. And he did it all. You know, he did it all, stuck through it. Now,
but you know what? But I feel like a lot of people get out and they're not quite ready. Like there's circumstances that kind of force them out. Like him, it was a family care plan. I think with a lot of people, it's probably family type stuff that kind of forces them out. And then it's good to see that after time, they can still, if they still want to do it, they can just jump right back in there. So for the ones who have gotten out, maybe the COVID,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? All these different things that you may have gotten out and you really wasn't ready to, and you always man, I should go back in, and you thinking about it. Even though y'all about to go back to war, it's about to be a war. Yeah. So know that.
You gotta say we.
But
you gotta say
you can still come.
You're an American.
I'm a proud
blooded American,
an American. But I ain't gonna be on that ship. Yeah, no. But yeah, it's not too late. 20, I would have thought 20 years, oh man, I think that ship is sailed. That I probably literally, if I was having a drink with this person at the bar and they said I'm thinking about going back, I probably would be I think it's over for you, dog.
Y'all think people
I would never think that 20 years later.
Think people that got out for COVID would want to come back?
Probably not now, man. I think a lot of people who I know that getting out, man, and they don't want to come back in the Navy. So I can understand them getting out and not want to come back, man. You think it was almost like probably like a good thing for some of them sailors, man. I think some of the sailors pushed that envelope because they didn't want to be in anyway.
COVID left a bad taste in people's mouths. COVID left a bad taste in my mouth still. The way it was handled. So
the way it was,
I know if I got out on any kind of thing that had to do with COVID, I can't see myself wanting to come. Just off principle, I can't see myself wanting to come in. COVID, the way COVID was handled, like some people feel like that got something to do with retention now. You know what I mean? And people,
100%.
And our new, and recruiting. There's people that think like they just don't like how that shit was handled.
Yeah. I most definitely agree with it 100%, man. But I do say this, man, a lot of the people that was on the same page that didn't want to do this and didn't want to do that, they stayed in because they wasn't like, ready to take that chance or take that challenge or whatever the case may be, man. I don't know all the circumstances, but the people who got out, man, they was ready for whatever, man. I'm not doing this.
They were.
I'm out. See you later.
They stood on business.
They stood on that shit.
Kyrie shit.
Yeah, most definitely.
Not everybody that bold, baby.
Did they get money for that? They get any kind of money, a check or something?
I remember we talked.
We
talked about some check.
They get severance pay?
Talked about a check for some people, but it was a time when. Remember the religious accommodation issue, and it was a couple different things. It was a conversation about, it's old now, we had to go look it up. But it was a conversation about money for some people. I think it was like 50,000, something. I forgot what it was, but I think some people did.
Sounds like severance.
I think, some people did.
Yeah. And then recently they started asking some of them to come back.
I mean,
I don't know if it's all of them or some of them, but they were asking the ones. And they were like, nope.
Ain't doing that. I just found my life, man. I do dog walks every fucking Tuesday morning. You know what I mean? And I work from home. Shit.
Collect my disability.
I'm a food blogger. I'm good.
Right?
Faulty welds. Newport News, bad news, VA, man. It ain't much of this story except for it's saying intentional faulty welds from shipbuilders on carriers and subs.
Yeah,
right.
Man, we surprised by that, man. I'm not surprised by this at all, man.
Civilians gun decking, military gun decking.
Man. You know what I'm gonna say, Dumbo? You know the first thing I thought about time I read this article, I thought about one thing, man. Those damn U.S. map guys, man. You know what I mean? U.S. maps, man. What I'm talking about, man. Oh, shit, bro. First thing I thought about.
He's talking about, hey, I got the TIG. Well, I got qualified to do the MIG and I could do that. I could do the MIG and the TIG, man. Just tell me where you need me. Tell me where you need me at. I got 2,000 hours on the TIG.
Right? Straight lied on that resume. Now, U.S. maps.
On the TIG, man. You know damn well. You ain't do none of that OJT to get that U.S. map. You came on your Sunday duty day and you plugged in everything you did for the month, man. And your damn chief approved that shit. So it damn well they ain't see you doing that.
Damn, and you know the deployments, boy. The deployment, you get all 7 days on the deployments, man.
Yeah. Your chief approving your U.S. map because it's a part of his job. You know, hey, let me take
right.
Let me clear this inbox, man. Let me take care of this.
Man.
I know damn well he ain't do no OJT, man. You talking about you did 12 hours underway. And you know you could do more time underway. It's like a duty day. You can stretch it. Remember that thing? Like remember it's like 8 hours in port. For the hours you could count for your U.S. map. Yeah, you could do 8, but if you on duty, you know, you could do like 16.
Yeah.
If you on duty.
Yeah, man.
Oh, U.S. map is wild. Hey, if you're an employer, man.
You better check. You better check them certifications.
Hold up. Dumbo. Oh boy, was on a bonus edition, I think Jamal brought up US.
He was pushing that shit, man. You saw my face?
You saw my face about that US.
I saw your face. You saw my face. You saw my face. I was like, okay, shit. Let's talk about it, man. That's probably for where he's skilled in AK, because he was like a YN, right?
Yeah, YN. Yeah.
That world probably care about US map, but
yeah,
I knew some engineers who went places with their US map. That shit ain't get them nowhere, bro.
Nowhere. The goddamn Southwest, goddamn airline.
Go back.
Boeing,
log back into Indeed. Log back into Indeed and take that shit off your resume. Yeah, you know what's holding you back?
That's why we got wheels falling off the planes now.
Him not ready.
Hey, Newport News, man, y'all gotta do better, man. Y'all too worried about the after party. How you have an after party for shipyard working? Like, let's be for real. How you have an after party for after the work day? Yo, you coming to the after hour? They used to have an after hour. Hey, shout out to the bro. I ain't even gonna say your name. They used to have an after hour after work with the shipyard workers, like a little after hour joint. That was like on some wild, I don't even get into it, like wild after hour type shit. You know what I mean? They so worried about that. They ain't getting the well right. Y'all got to speak easy. Y'all got to all types of stuff. I'm gonna shut up, man. I might be saying too much, man.
Yeah, man. We don't leave it right there though.
So back to the bullshit. Seller-led maintenance report. So I got this a while ago from somebody that I consider to be super important. And they was, I was like, oh, he was pissed. So when he sent it to me, I didn't know what it was. I'm like, oh shit, thanks. And then he kind of said something about it. I was like, oh, this one of those. I'm gonna have to sit in the office with this. You know what I mean? To grab some tea and like really read through this shit. It's a lot. Here's 82 pages. If you know me, you know I ain't reading through 82 whole pages. But this is the seller-led maintenance report from the Government Accountability Office. Again, it's an 82-page report about actions needed to improve seller-led maintenance. And we are going to get into this a little bit. And I want to, it's a couple things I want to go over with y'all about this. So let me actually pull this up real quick. Because this is the world that we're in right now. Actually, this is the world Damon in. It's the world that I've, been in, stuff like that. So I'm going to go to the full report. Can y'all go to it real quick too?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So if we go to the full report, right? And if you're a listener, bear with us for a second as we kind of trying to make sure we get this information up and pulled up right. And if we go to page 19, I want to go to page 19. So let me know when y'all get to page 19 on the full report, but I'm going to talk for a second about it, right? And I'm going to read these first, and I'm going to get into what they consider to be some of the issues with seller-led maintenance and some of the fixes, and we could kind of talk through it. So on page 19, it says sellers require and assign for selected ship classes. So Nimitz class aircraft carriers, and this is all throughout the classes, right? It says 31,720. And right now we sitting at 25,787. So that's 19% fewer than required. Right. And this is as of November 2023. Ticonderoga class guided missile cruisers, 6,120 sellers. And we sitting at 3,860 sellers. So that's 37% fewer than required. WASP class amphib assault ships, 8,148 sellers, and we sitting at 6,494 sellers, 20% fewer than required, right? So then if you go to page 20, right, which I thought was kind of crazy because it's about the Bush, man. I was on a Bush on this day, October 25th, 2023. Right? It says, example of Navy aircraft carrier sellers mustering for a weekday import. So they got the number of required crew. I don't know why I'm saying required. So weird, right? It says 100% of sellers and ship manpower document, and then funded authorized 93% of sellers required. And then assigned, 86% of sellers funded it all. So first you got required. That's 100% required. And then 93% of required is what's funded. And then 86% of what's funded is what's actually assigned. And then 83% of what's assigned is what's actually mustering. Right? So it looked like they down, like it's 33% fewer than required from what's required to what's mustering, right? So that's the big deal there. The reason why we saying all of that is because a couple things that the GAO found, right? Navy faces several interrelated personnel and training challenges that inhibit sellers' ability to complete required ship maintenance. We talk about corrective maintenance and preventive maintenance, right? We talk about PMS and regular repairs. GAO found that the Navy does not fill all required positions and that sellers assigned to a ship are sometimes unavailable for duty. For example, temporarily assigned to another ship or may have inadequate training or preparation for their positions. The reason why this shit is so important, honestly, because like somebody could have walked the deck place and found this out. Like the GAO, that's pretty much what they talk to XOs and they survey like crew members. But this just been the way we've been living, bro. Like since the DDG, Damon. Like just shit we've been dealing with. You know what I mean? So it says cycle of challenges to seller-led maintenance. The Navy does not fill all required ship positions. Sellers assigned to a ship are sometimes unavailable for duty. Sellers may not be prepared for the positions they fill. Seller shortages hinder ability to complete required maintenance. Officers and sellers describe training for seller-led maintenance as inadequate. Navy guidelines for ship maintenance are sometimes inaccurate. I mean, and that's XOs saying that the training is inadequate, not just random people. That's like, executive officers on ship. So they gave us a couple recommendations for executive action. And that's what I kind of want us to talk through is these recommendations. So, and all of the recommendations were, agency affected was Department of the Navy and the responsible person was the SECNAV, right? So it says, SECNAV should ensure that Deputy Chief of Naval Operations for Personnel, Manpower, and Training updates Navy policy to require the Navy to periodically gather and report personnel data specific to seller-led maintenance, such as comparing assigned personnel to the number of mustering personnel available for duty and tracking the quality of sellers' alignment across departments. So I was watching something that said like six available is like, it's hard for me to explain it, but it was saying like for every job or whatever that requires 6 sellers, only 5 of them are available just in the state of the military as it is. Then it's like when you talk about TADs and other stuff like that, that number gets lower. So every seller is either like overworked or pulling the work of at least one more, 6 out of 5 or whatever, something like that, right? So that was like one of the things. So like I said, so the first thing is comparing the number of assigned personnel to the number of mustering personnel available, right? Is that a thing for you, Damon, like that you've seen?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Whole David freaking career, man. I'm like,
right.
I don't want to give my percentage out, but that's I'm working on half right now.
Yeah. Right?
Half, man. Like it's crazy, man. Like all across the fleet. And this report is not like brand new to anybody that's been on a ship or anybody that's been in the Navy at all. And I'm saying it, and these XOs I commend because they just telling the truth though. You know what I mean? And I know why it's being said and how it's being said is because they want us to do better. They want us to get this manning up. They go to different places. They go to different interviews. If you look at people interviews, you look at the COs, the XOs, they go to Tennessee, they go to all these manning meetings, they go all this stuff. And this is the conversation they always talking about. How can they get more manning for their command, for their ships or wherever they at? How can I get the people to fill certain positions and things like this? Everywhere. From the training commands that on shore duty to the ships out there. It's the same thing, man. Even on shore duty, ATGs, probably some of the worst manning we done seen.
Yeah.
Right? Ships, some of the worst manning we done seen. I'm not saying this because my ship is like that. I'm saying this because we've been saying this shit for years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For years, we've been saying this. So it's nothing brand new. And I know we going to always do what we got to do. But I'm here to tell you, it's getting to a point now that it's really starting to hurt us, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm saying this right here. This is what I'm going to say. And I'm going to get off my soapbox real quick on this, is that the expectation, and I'm first I'm gonna give you an example. I was on the Nimitz for a little while before I got there now. And I was mustering 60 to 70 people. And now I'm not even mustering half of that right now. But you expect the same amount of maintenance to get done.
Yeah.
That's where the problem is right there. That's where, now think about it when you look at the big picture of this, right? And I'm going to say this, and I might regret it when I say it. But now we want to take these sailors to captain mast, right? Because they can't get the maintenance done, or they half-ass doing the maintenance, right? That's what we want to do. We want to do something like that. But, hey, can we get this maintenance done? Like to be honest with you, man, we got 3,000 checks, right? 2,000 checks.
Yeah.
How is this going to get done the right way with this manpower?
Bro, that shit is discouraging. Now let's speak from, and we only on the first joint. Now let's speak from the deck plate eyes. That shit is discouraging. For your seller. I was an EM for my whole career, up until now. I used to sit and talk to my sellers who wanted to get all the maintenance done. For a seller to look at a 13-week report, and you got 5 sellers in your division. Whether you're on a carrier or in your work center on a carrier, you got about 3 to 5 sellers. And then in your division on a destroyer or some shit, you got like 5 sellers. And they got a 5-page 13-week report, bro. That is impossible to complete. You know what I mean? Then you got your XO up your ass about having a reason why checks can't get done. And some days, the reason is really that we didn't, where you like, yo, we can't say, like you got to not say that we just didn't have enough time, or due to like operational commitments, right? That's what they never want to hear, due to operational commitments. Sometimes that's the truth. It don't take this study. Like just look at these what is it? Check notes. Just look at these check notes that we've hit people on because we don't want to see operational commitment. Sometimes it is operational commitment. It ain't enough time to do. It's the fucking 13-week report does not match the amount of hours that the seller should be working. And then when you add everything else, like PMS ain't the only thing that's you doing. You still got regular corrective is, and then because one of my frustrations about that part of the job used to always be like, how the fuck am I going to motivate sellers to complete this impossible task? like a 13-week report for EM is impossible, bro. For most maintenance weeks. It's impossible. Now, we got that super EM that's listening. I never had that problem. You a super EM, bro. You the greatest. You know what I mean? You got it. You figured it out. But for most divisions, that shit ain't real. It's not realistic. You got to push checks. You're not able to do all this shit. You can't take power down. It's just so much happening right there. And like this report is saying, it ain't enough people. And that's just the first shit, Tish. That ain't even... It's 7 recommendations. That's just the first one. You know what I mean? But we all know this. And that's why people sending it to people and sharing it and frustrated, because we know this already. Yeah. And it looked worse to the young sellers. That's looking at them 13-week reports. How the fuck am I going to do all this? And you can't. My bad. I'm going to shut up, Damon. And you can, as the chief, you can't say, I know it's impossible, bro. You got to say something better than that, and help them through it and shit. That's it. That's all I'd say.
Yeah, that's crazy. And you know what? That one was what I was smiling about when you were saying that, man, is because you know how many times we have changed the way we do those check notes because we really didn't have the right answer to put in the check notes. And then we send something out and say, you cannot do it like this. You got to have either A, B, or C in the check notes. You cannot have this. Yeah. We just telling the truth.
Yeah.
Hey, that's all we was doing. We just telling the truth.
Yeah. Like
we
you're
cannot
delusional.
get these checks done.
Yeah.
We
like you're delusional.
Get them done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you think that it's not operational commitment, now we got to lie. Now we got to make up some shit.
Yeah.
You know? That shit is crazy, bro.
Yeah.
All right, let's hit the second one. It says the SecNav should ensure that Commander Navy Education and Training Command evaluates and optimizes the balance between classroom training and on-the-job training on maintenance skills for junior sailors as it implements ready, relevant learning. All right, so I'm going to see what Damon say about classroom training and on-the-job training, and then I'm going to probably tell the truth.
Okay.
So what's up with classroom training on maintenance?
Well,
what's that, Beck? What's that, Common Core?
Whatever they call it now. I mean, you might hey, look, I'm going to be honest with you guys about this training and all this stuff that they doing, man, is that you might want to send these sailors to the fleet, man. Right?
Right. Yeah, right.
Yeah, like that's what we might as well do, man. And I'm just being real about it. Like, these sailors are getting to the ship and they still don't know what's going on. I can do a better job of teaching them on the OJT that's right there about everything that you maybe think you train them there. And I'm not trying to take nothing from A school. I'm not trying to take nothing from C school. I'm just telling you what I see.
You could do a better job. You got an active training program to do better OJT.
You damn right I do.
That's good.
Right?
That's good.
And it's called maintenance 10 motherfucking one. We gonna be down in the deck plates. And I'm saying that because you know what? I'm not gonna go that far, right? But I'm gonna tell you this: is that I feel like sometimes doing it helps people out a little bit more. Like, we can go in the classrooms and you can pull this stuff up on the TVs and all your monitors you got in these schools. But I do think the OJT side of it is a big help. And maybe the classroom side is getting you mentally ready for when you get out there. You can I see it now. It's like an old light bulb moment. But guess what? A lot of times that old light bulb don't come on.
Yeah, it don't. Yeah, it ain't. Yeah.
Right? It's not come. Yeah. So I guess it's a balance in between it. You know, so I'm not going to bash, A schools and C schools too much. But I'm here to tell you, I can only give you what I see.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you what I see.
I tell you this, a lot of times when it's like hands-on stuff, sometimes it's easier to just go into it with the OJT and then maybe do a refresher or something, or like something after that to kind of go over and like refine the skills that you've already developed. But trying to go into school sometimes for something that's so hands-on, they really just going through and just, memorizing everything and taking tests and stuff. And that's why they get in there and they can't demonstrate. They can't perform because they just been doing this shit on paper.
They can't perform because if you got to be in that classroom, I feel like it should be rate specific. You know what I mean? Like, if you got some classroom stuff going on, you may be like, to show you what paperwork and documents you need to turn in. Yeah. You know what I mean? Things like that. But certain rates, like for Dumbo's rate, right? Like the rate he used to be, electrician. I feel like that's damn near hands-on. You got to know what the hell you doing out there playing with that stuff, man. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like in the classroom, you can go over some things to make sure X, Y, and Z before you do something else. But a lot of that stuff is hands-on and knowing what you're doing, man.
Yeah. And that's one classroom. That's like the A school, C school classroom. You also got like when I guess some ships, they do like a 3MU. Some ships do a 3MU as well. So you got that. But, I'm thinking about OJT and I'm going to tell you, and I'm glad you have it. And I'm sure you do, Damon, because that's who you are. But not everybody doing valuable OJT either, because some people don't got time. Sometimes a seller getting man, I done spot checks with sellers and they pretty much told me And I'm talking to some young sellers right now, man. I'm talking to y'all for like 1 week. Well, me and Damon kind of started out on our grumpy old bad shit, but like, hey, yo, we gotta stop handing over study guides to people. You know, I remember when I was when I first got to my last ship, and somebody was going for the craftsman qual, open book test, man. You know, and in my first class at the time, he said, yo, what do QA stand for? That was like the way the person was like, yo, I'm ready for the board. He was like, all right, you ready for the board? Okay, I got you. I'm gonna ask you a quick question. What do QA stand for? And the person was dumbfounded. Like, oh man, shit. He's like, nah, like I'm just asking what does QA stand for? That's what I'm asking. And the seller looked not only, and it's supposed to be a good seller, like the seller not only looked at dumbfounded, the seller looked angry that this person asked that question, you know? And then we found out from the seller that they were given a study guide for the QA qual and told to study the study guide. And that was the questions that they was going to be asked on the board. Nothing outside of that, you know? And this ain't the first time I heard that. And it wasn't the last time I heard that. You know, like we living and dying off these study guides. You know what I'm saying? And that's not, and the reason why I'm talking about that, because as whoever you are, first class, second class, you might be trusting that somebody giving somebody some OJT and they not. They giving them a fucking study guide, man, and telling them to make sure they know that and they're going to be ready for the board.
Yeah. And Demo, you brought up, you know, you said like, do I have the OJT program? Let me readdress that. Right? My program is right now what I do is twice a week, right? We doing training twice a week, right? Which is pretty good, right? With the amount of shit going on, you know how many times we actually get that training done twice a week?
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? I'm not lying to you. It's there. It's in place.
Yeah.
I want to do it. But that time come and go, man, so freaking quickly, man. And you be like, man, we didn't do training today.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We didn't do this today. We didn't do that today. So, you know, yeah, I do have a program in place, but hey, I'm going to be honest with you. That shit ain't rolling like I thought it was going to roll. Like I wanted to roll anyway. So it's hard out there.
Yeah. And for like Chiefs, because I was on a carrier, it got to get ugly. It got to get ugly. I think it's one of the topics or something you got to hold yourself to the fire, right? To hold people accountable. So you got to hold yourself to. So a lot of times when people think they've been held accountable, they think it's just you holding them accountable, but it's really you holding yourself accountable to hold them accountable, right? And when you're in a leadership position. So I remember when I was like, hey, this training shit, like on my carrier, when I was on it, I'm like, yo, we ain't getting it right. Like we still missing days. Yeah. We push every chance we get is more important shit to do than training. Like every chance is something to fix. This whole division, this whole work center couldn't come down. All this shit. I remember like on my way out, it seemed like on my way out, we just got like some real good rhythm with training. What I did differently that I didn't do on a carrier was when I was on the DDG, I gave a training. So I kind of set the standard. I gave a couple trainers on the DDG, so I set the standard and let them know the expectation. I didn't do that on the carrier. I was working my way into doing it, but y'all know, with like just life wasn't working. Like the baby, there's a bunch of shit. But I was working my way into doing it. But I had to seller like recreate a whole controller and add faults and do shit. So like it got really cool and we got to take pride. But then again, that's like one seller, you know, a couple sellers. Like it's few and far between. But that training shit. Like you just said, Damon, it ain't really a lot of people don't got time to just sit down for an hour and just train. Like it's just like that don't even feel right on the ship. It don't feel right to do it. like it don't feel right. You know what I mean? Like it feel like you still in time. You know what I mean? Or it's at an inconvenient time. It's at nobody really. You could just tell like, yo, this shit. You know, I mean, and that's my thoughts. And I know a lot of sellers hold that same sentiment.
No doubt.
You know, and then when you talk about on the deck plates with it, come on. You leave that alone.
Yeah. You
leave that deck plate shit alone, bro. Walk up on one of your sellers that's doing maintenance that ain't never do maintenance before or do a spot check on them. And do the spot check right and tell me what you saw. Do that spot check the right way and tell me what you saw. All right. SecNav should ensure the policy is updated to include commanding officers as key stakeholders and updating maintenance cards to better reflect actual time expended and accomplishing seller-led maintenance tasks in light of ship-specific conditions. That's a big one. That's a big one. Because if I could just talk about the carrier, right? So I'm going to give you, if that looks confusing, I'm going to talk about the carrier and how when we were in the yards, the process to get tags and hang tags added about an hour and a half to each maintenance item. The process alone, having to be, is only one area on the ship that's running tags. You got to stand in the line. You got to get your diagram from, I forgot the name of these people.
Somebody in the trailer.
Yeah, you got to go through all that. So the process is not 0.8, 0.9 or whatever. That ain't it's way more than that. So I think that's kind of what it's talking to, but then it's also talking about some other things too.
It says updating maintenance cards to better reflect actual time expended.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
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 To me, like it says
they saying the MRC's fucked up because the next one is the same.
Yeah.
We could go to the next one and kind of tie them in. It says MRC and maintenance cards are written at SecNav in collaboration with Naval Sea Systems Command should ensure that maintenance cards are written at an appropriate level of detail to reflect specific conditions affecting the amount of time, number of personnel needed, and training necessary to conduct seller-led maintenance. I'm going to shut up, but it's been times where somebody is doing, like we say that anybody should be able to pick. I thought the thought process was anybody should be able to pick up an MRC and get it done. It's times where somebody read an MRC and got mad questions and you look at them like they don't know what the hell they doing because they got questions about the MRC. That I was normally trained to anybody should be able to pick one up and get it done.
Yeah. And, and also, even if you freaking, how many times those feedback reports go out and you say they correct the things you need to correct? Some of those guys, and I'm not shooting shots, but some of them guys over there that's correcting these MRCs and them feedback reports probably ain't been on a ship in like 10 years, man.
Bro, remember that feedback report that was 5 years that wasn't good? Remember I was talking about it at my command? Yeah. I left with that feedback report not fixed. And I thought I went to the highest level I could. I'm like, yo, we got it. Like, never got fixed still.
Yeah. I'm not shooting shots, but I am shooting shots. You know what I mean?
Yeah, never got fixed.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
It says the SecNav should direct Deputy Chief of Naval Operations for Fleet Readiness and Logistics in collaboration with Naval Supply Systems Command and Naval Sea Systems Command to ensure that shipboard allowance lists are updated and accurate. Come on. Come on.
What?
Come on. It took GAO to figure that out. You know what I mean? Like, hit the deck plates, man. And we saying hit the deck plates, but this just a shit things that's just been a way of life for us so long that we stopped talking about it. We stopped talking about how we still haven't added these light bulbs to the APL, but we've been open purchasing them now for 2 years. 3 years, 5 years. Like, we just stopped talking about it. We just open purchasing them. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Or when you get some of the equipment that you get it and it's already expired.
Yeah. Or the company.
You know what I mean?
Or the company moved, shut down. The only real place this part is at is on eBay. But you can't buy it off of eBay. So they got to try to remake the part. They don't make the part. They modified the part. The way they modified the part, it don't work with your system. So now you got to modify the new part, or you got to jack pieces from the old part that's already broken to make the new part work. It's so much bullshit.
Oh, shit. That's what's happening, though.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Hey, all we doing? So what we doing right now for the listeners, we reading something off a report that GAO found, and we giving our personal experience with what we've seen with that shit. And the last one is SecNav should ensure that the Deputy Chief of Naval Operations for Fleet Readiness and Logistics, in collaboration with Naval Sea Systems Command and Navy Supply Systems Command, clarifies guidance to specify how and when program officers must use readiness-based sparring. Yeah, I'm gonna leave that one alone.
Yeah.
And then
there's one more.
So this one, right? This is like IT stuff. I think the same people, in conjunction with Program Executive Office, Manpower, Logistics, and Business Solution, establish a mechanism for management to periodically communicate quality information through the Navy to ensure stakeholders fully understand the purpose of NMR program and its applicability to that organization successfully enlist users. I ain't getting this one. Some stuff is just too much words. But one of the last things they were talking about, one of the last things they were talking about was like our IT systems and how for like to complete maintenance, we got like 6 different IT systems that don't talk to each other, right? And I guess, and I guess the Navy said, told GAO that we are looking into making a single IT system for maintenance. So I guess that's coming eventually.
For the last 20 years.
Yeah. Yeah, that's coming, man.
Yeah.
It's coming.
Definitely.
So, yeah, it's coming. Hey, real quick, I'm not going to go too deep into this employee program because it's a lot that I need to learn about it, honestly. But and I only heard about it and I ain't hear too much more about it. So just looking at the fact sheet, right, it says the Navy implemented a new employee program that provides non-deployable sellers, officer and enlisted, with expanded opportunities for continued service. The program focuses on sellers' employee ability to improve the quality of service, retain talent, and contributes to our warfighting advantage and reduce the administrative burden on a disability evaluation system. So I'm guessing it's like LIMDU, like sellers that like would be like getting out of the Navy for like LIMDU, but finding ways to keep them in their jobs or employ them in jobs that they can do without having to get out for LIMDU. It says that more about this program is going to be discussed in Mil Persman 1300 TAC 1400, but that Mil Persman is not out yet to my knowledge yet. So that's all. And there's some other stuff on this employee fact sheet that was tied with a memo. Not a nav admin, but a memo. There's some other stuff on here, but we just want to know. I feel like at this point we want to know more about employee so we can use it,
Yeah. Seems like a really good program though to keep good people.
I mean, it is. I just think we just need to. It kind of talked about it a little bit, but we just need to make sure like how they gonna make rank. And on top of that, are they going to be able to build themselves back up to go, back to C and do all that stuff? Those kind of questions, that I need, because I feel like it almost can be a program that you can kind of milk. That's just like me just reading a little bit. You make it milk that the whole freaking time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But of course, I don't know all the details yet, so I'm not gonna say that, but that's what I was thinking about.
It don't seem like it's a program that's an alternate to LIMDU. It's more so an alternate to to getting kicked out.
Yeah, to getting out to medical separation or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, and you know what? It also. It also do.
Yeah, my bad said get kicked out.
It also says in that you got to re-up. It ain't like it's a full-time thing. You got to, every time you go to another building, they got to look at you again from a medical standpoint and see you qualify to stay in. Yeah. To do another tour or whatever.
Yeah. And that's, like we said, that's employ, EMPLOY. And we want to know more. PERS 454, we want to know more. Tell us a little bit more about it. Reading this, it's a whole Q&A and everything. And I still want to know. I still feel like I want to know more.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Need that nav admin.
Yeah. Hey, one thing I will say, if you want to know more about Culture of Excellence, just log on, just Google that. Go on My Navy HR. Culture of Excellence got everything. They got videos. Anything you need to know about Culture of Excellence is there. Rollout plans, whatever. Hey, my question to y'all is this. Is case-by-case basis a thing for y'all?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I think
I
so
mean,
too.
In what sense? Do
Any
you
sense.
mean?
Yeah. I don't even want to give an example because it's too specific. But like something happened for like one seller, and another seller was like, "Yo, is that gonna happen for me?" And I was like, "No."
You gotta look at the wholesaler.
Like, no, it's not. Like, no, it's not.
You gotta look at the wholesaler, the whole circumstance.
It's not gonna happen for you,
not.
And I'm quick to say that too.
He said
like,
it. No,
I'm quick to say no. It's not gonna happen. Like it's always gonna be a case by case. But I do say this though, you got to be careful, right? You got to be careful. But at the same time, everybody is not the same, man. Like it's so many circumstances that comes to light when you making a decision that you cannot,
right?
Put that decision on everybody the same.
Yeah.
If you do that, I feel like you're taking away from you're taking away from so much, man. If you say everybody, I'm gonna do it like this, no, you can't roll like that, man. If you do, you gonna get yourself in some trouble. That's what's gonna happen.
A lot of times, the person that be wanting the case to be like the other one be no, they don't deserve that shit. No, they don't deserve that shit, man. Hey, you gonna do the same? Nah, dog, not for you, man. Like, nah, man. You did too much. Man. You did. You did too much, man. So yeah, it's definitely, definitely different. All right, I'm glad y'all said that. Hey, another quick question is this, right? And I really want to know, and this was a question I had with a seller. Well, this was a conversation that we had in the comments on like Instagram. The seller wound up saying that they didn't necessarily think this, but I still wanted to ask because I thought it was a cool question to ask. Can one hating chief impact a number one EP seller?
Well,
it depends on how loud they are. Are you talking about in ranking boards or?
Yeah, in ranking board. Yeah, can they impact the EP?
I feel like it depends on how loud that hating person is.
I don't know. I think that's a crazy mess if they let that happen.
Yeah,
I don't see how like we talking about the number one EP. Like I'm talking about a sailor that's probably, it depends on what mesh you and what you're doing. I'm thinking of it as to like this number one EP is probably my sailor of the year, possibly, right? He's got to be one of the sailors that we trying to put out in front of the command and say, this is my person that's kicking some ass. And I don't think I'm going to let one hating chief mess that up. Because guess what? Your number one guy, your junior sailor's looking up to. Your junior officer's looking up to. This guy is finna be a future chief. This guy is kicking some ass. This guy is doing this at the command. Why am I gonna let one person kill that? I gotta step in and be like, what's up? You know what I mean? Like, what's going on?
And you usually in situations like that is somebody else that's kind of neck and neck with them. So they just trying to hate to bring them down so that the one that's neck and neck with them can be up. I've seen that before.
So, and I'm talking about their chief though, like specifically like your chief. So you the EM1 and it's your EMC.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that's why I don't, me personally, I don't think that works. But it could, it could be like, yo, he ain't really what y'all think he is.
If it's yours.
You up in the ranking.
Right. I was about to say,
I tell you, Dumbo.
If it's yours and
Dumbo, I think the only way this happens, if they're a new chief. Yeah. You know what I mean? When I say new chief, not new to being a chief, just getting on board new. You know what I mean? And now you have a chief that's used to doing things a certain way, and now they're not doing it that way. Now you're like, they may not be what I thought they were. They might not be the number one person. And I can see it happening like that. But if that chief got you to number one, I most definitely don't see that being the case. You know what I mean? You got number one for a reason.
Right.
Well, yeah, you got, you got you to number one. That chief. Yeah. But the number one EP, a lot of times, it might depend on ship class, but a lot of times the number one EP is notice, like, you know who the number one EP is.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah,
for,
yeah, yeah.
for y'all first classes listening,
You
like,
know who they are.
a lot of times the number one EP is noticeable already. You know,
Mhm.
so it's normally like not even like a conversation. The conversation might more be like 2 through 5, 2 through 10. Sometimes it's 2, neck and neck, but it ain't never. It might be 3, but it ain't never more than that you know gonna be number one.
Yeah.
I can't see personally you having one chief stop that fucking train, like, cause that chief hating. Some chief better be in that mess.
Yeah.
Like, yo, nah, your dude is. We've been in ranking boards where they was like, yo, all right, your dude number one. Like, we know that. You know what I'm saying? So let's go to number 2 through whatever. And that felt good. I'm like, oh, I gotta fight for him. You know what I mean? Like, we straight.
Right.
You know what I mean? But that's so I don't think it could happen. But I know that I could be proven wrong on that. It's probably been a situation or scenario where a chief came in with like some receipts, right, quote unquote, about why they seller wasn't number one. But just number one EP is a strong term, especially when we talk about first classes at a command. Like, it's hard to shake that shit, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody mad as hell. They thought they was number one EP. Somebody listening thought they was supposed to get.
He gonna go back telling
they thought they was supposed to be
they
number
going
one
back to their
EP,
chief.
yo.
You think I'm gonna be number one EP?
They like that's some bullshit. I ain't get my number one. Hey, it's our anniversary, right?
It's our anniversary.
And I wish I had the music. 4 years, yo, 4 years. So this is 4 years, right? I don't know why I was overthinking anniversaries early. I'm like, yo, babe, like, so I'm like, we haven't been doing it for 4 years. Like, it ain't. But this is 4 years. We've been doing this shit since 2020. You know what I mean? We started at the end of 2020. We used to have a lot. We took shots. One of our anniversaries. We used to have a lot of. That was just like, yo, it's our anniversary, y'all. We been doing it. You know what I mean? Y'all got. And it's been a shifty year for us. Tisha's having internet problems. I mean, I guess that ain't new for the year.
You know what?
David on the ship. He ain't here all the time. It's been episodes. Shit, it was episode with just me one time. It's been episodes with just me and guests. It's episodes with just me and Tish. It's been all we just been trying to put out episodes at least with some viable, conversations on it and shit like that. It's been different, and we told y'all it would be different. And we'll keep trying to figure it out and do it all. But yes, man, it's our anniversary, yo.
Big time, man. Big time. 4 years, man. Hey, it's been one of the like, I look at it as one of those things, man, you look forward to, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's why I kind of like doing it, man. Like I look forward to, I know, okay, man, we doing this on a Saturday. We doing this on a Sunday. We doing this on Friday. And even at work, man, I'm thinking like, man, I gotta get the hell up out of here, man. I gotta go pod, man. This podcast, man. So I'm thinking about it, man, and it has me no bullshit. Like I'm alert way more because of the podcast. Because it could be something I want to talk about. It could be a great conversation. I want to go to this right here meeting because I'm making get a good conversation out of this meeting. I'm thinking like that now because I'm podcasting and I'm taking way more notes than I normally take because I'm trying to see what I can figure out and see what I can turn this into, you know what I mean? And things like that, man. So it most definitely, man, and helped me in a lot of ways, man, when it comes to us doing this podcast. And I can't wait, man. The future is freaking really, really bright, man. And for this podcasting thing, man. And I can't wait, man, for the journey and us to keep pushing, man, and doing better things, man.
Yeah.
I know when I first came on, my biggest concern was like, okay, after I retire, am I going to still care about Navy stuff? And I do. There's some things that it's like, okay, well, I don't really know much about that, or I feel a little bit out of touch. But it feels so good to still like talk about the Navy and still be in it and listen to it. Seeing what's changing, like some of the changes that's happening that we're talking about on here. It makes me excited, even though I'm not even in anymore. But I just love being here, and I'm grateful I'm grateful for y'all. I got 2 new brothers. So I'm grateful for y'all. Y'all really good people. I think I've said that a number of times on here. And, you know, I just want to echo that again and again and again. Like, they are really good people. The people that you see on here, like, talking, the things that they like, they're really genuine, good people. So this ain't no just come on here and just talking,
Right, yeah.
but living a double life. It's not that. Like, y'all really are in the fight and y'all love it. Y'all bleed.
I tell you one thing, Tish. What I would say about Tish real quick, man. Like, you know, I tried to rent one of those cars, man. I was in town. You know, I was looking for my sis to holler at me, man, and, you know, let me get a little ride, man. I couldn't even get a car, man. I couldn't even rent a car.
Them things be them things be gone. I just look, one is back, but it's gone again. Like, I don't be having cars, and you know, it's funny because people will like hit me up. Like, hey, you got a car? You got a car? Well, not so much anymore because I don't change my number so people can get a hold of me. It ain't on social media. But like, people used to be hitting me up like, hey, I need a car. Like, especially in between deployments, you know, they be needing cars and stuff like that. But in a lot of times it's like, hey, like, I ain't got nothing right now. Like, 2 of my homegirls, they just gave me my cars back. One just left for deployment. The other one, her car was messed up. And so they're like, oh, well, you know, I'm going to need the car again, you know, in a few more months. I'm like, hey, you better hope they hear. Because these things ain't going. But next time, just let me know ahead of time and I got you.
For sure.
Hey, we grew, right? We grew. Look, I'm back on the anniversary.
Yeah.
Back on the anniversary.
We added Denise. Social media grew, YouTube grew, podcast listenership grew. So we still growing, we still expanding. We had some very big. We started the year with some very big guests. We had more. We kind of ended our year with a very big guest with Commander Walker. Had a really good conversation with him. So, you know, same plan is for next year to continue that same thing. It's funny now, I got an off-topic thing about Tish. Adding Tish to the pod kind of gives us that person that like people hit up like, hey, can I talk to Tish? I need like some legal advice, you know, shit like that. They be hitting me up. Like, it's like this. One day, have a light bulb to change or a fire to put out. You know, hit Tish up and ask for Damo number so he can help you change your balance. You know what I mean? Like, y'all got this balance, dog. Ask for Damon number, you know, so he can help you change the batteries on a Nifty. You know what I mean? Like, we need, like we need to be, you know, I think Tish get the most offline, you know, hey, let me speak to Tish, man. I need some legal advice. You know what I mean? Hey, and that, honestly, like that part of it all is, to me, the best part of it all, where we kind of breaking the fourth wall and we able to like help people. Because like I said, I've now met sellers that listen to the pod and have relationships with them and stuff like that. So, you know, just that part of it is amazing. And like, again, shout out to Denise again. Shout out to all our listeners, everybody that watch on YouTube. Just all our super supporters. Every time I see a top fan, it's my mom on Facebook every week. It's like new top fans. It's my mom. You know what I mean? So shout out to her. She's like our biggest supporter. Rob Flowers, always see him supporting. So shout out to him. It's a lot of y'all, man. I ain't gonna name people. Just I always see Rob Flowers' name as a supporter of us. So no I definitely. Hey Jay, Hey Bear, my old top snipe is always somewhere supporting too. So definitely shout out. But everybody, right? I don't want to, because then we gonna start naming 355 people, and then the one person we didn't name gonna feel left out. Everybody, man, it's been a hell of a ride. It's been fun. Hopefully, we're able to keep this going for as long as we can. No matter where we go, no matter what we do, fuck around, make Force Master Chief still podding. You know what I mean? Like, so you know, so hopefully this shit don't stop the show. You know what I mean? Like that shit. If we got integrity and we doing it from our heart. And we know we good people, like Tish said, like that shit don't stop the show. Like where we go don't. Honestly, this makes us better where we go, in my opinion. So y'all gonna have to take that.
100. Hey, I also want to, don't let me forget her, man. Denise, man. Hey, shouts out to you, man.
Denise.
Big help, big deal.
Yeah.
You know, and I didn't say your name in the beginning, but trust and believe, man. You're doing a lot for us, and we most definitely appreciate it, man. And to the people who listen to us, man, you already know what it is, man. I can't wait to be back on this thing on the norm, though, man. I can't wait. But hey, man, we love you guys, man.
We needed Denise. We got Denise, and Denise has been Denise.
We did need her.
And doing a great job.
She's been Denising.
We want to go. We want to not only go live, right, but we want to do a live show. We want to do a live show. That's if there's anything, listeners, if there's anything that, you know, we want to do next year. We had an opportunity to do Fleet Week. We didn't do it. But if there's anything we want to do next year, we want to do a live show. Like some type of, whatever it looks like, we want to do it. In Cali, I think somewhere on the West Coast, most likely Cali, that's where our biggest audience is. That's probably where we could get people to come out to. Maybe have a couple of other podcasts out there with us. But that's something that I think we should do or try to do. That's something I know we want to do.
Yeah.
Something like that.
That would be dope.
So thank y'all. Appreciate y'all. And then Damon and Tish, man. Thank y'all. You know, thanks for showing up, doing what y'all supposed to do every week, every episode that y'all are here for. Good topics. Caring as much as y'all do about what the things that y'all are passionate for. I know I can't do this without I know I couldn't do this without Damon after the first time we recorded. So I'll be looking forward to, and then now we got Tish, and I'll be looking forward to the episodes that I got y'all on. Like sometime I'll be like, damn, y'all not here. We got a guest. Like I remember having to change a whole episode because Tish wasn't there and we had a guest, but I'm like, damn, my whole intro is dead now because Tish ain't here. You know, just somebody that you comfortable with to start the episode with.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, and that ain't there now. So it's like, it's just me and the guest. It's like kind of awkward eggshell. But we've had fun. We turn these mics on. We have a lot of fun. We talk about some Navy stuff, and hopefully we changing some sellers' careers. I don't know if that was that was always in the plan. I always act like it wasn't, but it was always in the plan. So we appreciate y'all, and thanks for the love y'all show us back.
Yeah, man, most definitely.
For sure. Especially all the people who interact on social media, the comments, good or bad, we'll take them all.
Yeah. Hey, until the engine, man, we got to give shouts out to the engine, right, Tish? Dumbo is the engine, man, for this podcast.
Listen,
man. And
I'm telling you,
this is like, some real talk type shit, man. Is that like Dumbo brung this up, hit me up, we talked about it, and said, hell yeah, let's do it. But what you guys don't know, everything that you guys see and hear is Dumbo. Like Dumbo is putting this thing together. He's making sure everything is lined up. Only thing me and Tish really doing is coming up with a couple topics and you know what I'm saying, and talking,
and
show up and talking, right? But Dumbo is the guy behind the scenes, man. Like I wouldn't get on here and say this and how I'm saying it, man, if I wasn't very appreciative to the stuff that he do every day, man. Like, and he showed me pictures of him going through this stuff, staying up late night, and now he's, Angeline with the support of her, and then the baby and all this stuff, and he's still finding the time to do this. And I know why, right? This is Dumbo's passion more than anything. Dumbo's been doing stuff like this his whole life, so I know his passion for it is crazy and huge. And when I can't show up for him, I feel bad. You know what I mean? Because I know he loves doing this stuff. And he will stay on here 4-5 hours if he could. You know, he loves doing this stuff, man. So I'm very appreciative, man. And we gonna keep grinding this thing out, man. This is what we do now. This is a part of our life now, man. So we gonna continue to do it, man. No doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then going back to Damo, the clips, Damo. Yeah. Some of the sound stuff that y'all don't hear that's in the original footage, Damo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My heavy ass breathing, Damo. I didn't even know I was breathing heavy.
I don't take that shit out. I'm mad. Like,
he don't even take it out no more.
I'm mad you brought it up. Yeah. I try to make it like a thing that
it's just a
like
thing.
listeners don't know because they might not hear it.
They
now
don't know
when
about
you bring
it.
it up, they gonna know. Like they gonna like
now they're gonna be listening for it. Like he got tired of taking it out. My chirping, you remember I had
so y'all teach like she sucks. She like sucks air in. All right, look for listeners.
Up,
since she brought the shit up, I'ma just tell y'all like she sucks air in. It's like. And then she like talk or she laugh. It's funny because hey, shout out to Will, like these guys, right? So Will hit me up. He was like, "Hey, bro, like, you know, I was sniffing and like shit." He was like, "My fucked up nostrils." And I'm sorry, bro. I was like, "Yo, bro, I would have edited it out, but like, I just didn't want to spend all that time doing that. It was okay. It's natural, right?" But yo, it's a part, and I know the listeners, if y'all know, it's parts of that episode where Will and Tish was in the air off, bro. Like they was in the sniff blow off, bro. That shit was like, right? And I'm like, yo, it's like in the first 20 minutes, it was like a contest of just sound, a super audio fucking experience, bro. And I was like,
hey man,
you just left it in there.
Throw that shit in there, man.
Hey, my last command, man. I turned these guys onto the pod, man. This guy, man. Shouts out to OG, man. He was like, "Hey, man, what the fuck is Tish doing when she breathes when I'm breathing?" He said, "What the hell is she doing over there, man?" I was like,
"Yo, my mic catching everything, everything." But if it wasn't my breathing, it was my fire detector that kept going off. Man, and I used to change the batteries. I'm just here, Damo. I'm so sorry. I don't have that problem no more, but I'm so sorry.
Now you just be having contractors knocking out bathrooms in your background.
Oh man, Damo.
I don't know what the hell.
Always something, I swear.
Oh boy,
I don't know what the hell happened to that episode, man.
The
episode ain't out yet for the listeners. It's probably gonna be out by the time y'all hear this. But like I said, we had a guest. I don't know where he was at a conference, and then Tish had some workers, and then shout out. Shout out to Catherine, but Catherine had a book and she was flipping the pages,
flipping through
and
the book.
nobody know. Like you can't hear it when we record, right? You can't hear it.
I could hear it.
You could, I couldn't.
Yeah.
But
I was tapping too.
Yeah, that was Catherine. But on the episode, you could hear them pages just like flipping hard as hell too, man.
She was like, "Let me see."
Yeah, so just for guests, keep that in mind too. Keep like your mic matter, your headphone. For like future guests, you want to come on a pod, keep in mind your mic matter, your headphones matter. Some mics pick up everything. Some mics just don't fucking work. You know what I mean? So but hey man, not much about it.
But Damo definitely does this thing.
Yeah. I love Captain Aloda. I love Commander Walker. It's mad other month. We had YN2 on here. We had the Junior Seller episode. We had the Women's Symposium this year. We had a whole lot. And then we had our own episode, which to me, love everybody else here. We had Fleet Kingsbury. We had Force Houlihan. We had a great year this year. I love our episodes where it ain't no guests more than our episodes with guests, but we really did have some really good guests this year. Some of them are some of my favorite episodes. So thanks to all the guests. And shit, man. Damn, man. We had much more than that. I was thinking about more guests. And then throughout the month of November, we're gonna do some guest appreciation posts on our social media too. We got clips of guests that we're gonna do some guest appreciation posts. I'm gonna get to the do better. Let's go ahead and sunset E-NAFIT, man. Let's just get rid of it. I think it's over. It's dead. Let's go, man. I'm doing my E-VAL in it, my C-Cell E-VAL. And this November 15th, right? We ain't aligned to September 15th. We aligned to November 15th. Yeah. And E-NAFIT ain't even equipped to even do that. So I had to reach out to MNCC. MNCC hit me back. Option one was tell your command to use NAFIT 98. You know, then it was like, if you're going to use E-NAFIT, do this. And plus, I've been hearing a rumor that E-NAFIT about to get, sunset anyway. It's about they about to stick a fork in it. So let's just get rid of it, man. Let's take the option away, period. That's it. That's my do better.
Yeah.
100%. I agree with you. Hey, my do better is pretty cut and dry too, man. Hey, man. take the exam, man. We got this thing at my command right now where you can write the page 13 if you don't want to take the exam. And you know, sailors up there taking that page 13, man. It's a lot of sailors out there just ain't taking the exam. Like, I don't understand why.
Oh,
let's do better, man. Let's take the exam. Try to get more money in your pocket. I just don't understand. I guess the do better is for sailors that don't take the exam, man. Like, I don't understand. Now my sailors person, like, you got two rates, man, that I guess it matters because of the fact that you are eligible for the I think it's called, I'm gonna get it right, the CA2P, right? For the command, right? You are eligible for it, but you have to take the exam. So the ABEs and the DC men, they can't advance no more by taking the exam, right? So what they have to do is pretty much, you know, do extend on sea duty. They can pick up rank. So if you got a quota out there for, let's say, a DC2, my DC3 can go and put in for that quota on the ship, but they have to do additional years at sea, right? So that's the only way they can make rank right now. So I can see why them saying, you know, I don't want to take the exam no more, because they probably getting out. A lot of those sailors are getting out right now too, believe it or not, but that's a whole nother topic. But I just want you sailors to think about that, man. More money in your pocket. Why you guys are not taking the exam is kind of crazy to me, man. So I'm just trying to, if you guys can help me out with that, come on, let me know. Why you guys are just not taking the exam? Why you like not want more money in your pocket? You know, make me understand that.
Right. And I think some of them were like, well, I ain't gonna pass it anyway because I ain't even studying. At least get a look at it.
Yeah.
And at least see what the questions are about. Like, and that'll help you study next time once you've seen those questions on the exam and see how they word them. Because I feel like every rank that I made, the questions were a little bit different, at least for my rate. I felt like the questions kind of changed a little bit.
Yeah. They changed. Yeah, they definitely.
The way they format the question and the type of questions that they ask. So,
yeah.
I mean, yeah, why not?
Okay.
So I have a do better this time. My do better is for the VA, because when I was active duty and I got a referral out in town, they sent me to this nice posh, the Navy sent me to this nice posh doctor's office in La Jolla. For those who don't know, who hasn't been to California, La Jolla is this real high class type of area, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm on the other side, and the VA don't refer me out. Same type of doctor, but they got me in the hood, dog. They got me in National City. they got me in a hospital that they call Death Valley. Why, VA? Have I not did my time? Why you gotta send me to an old rundown hospital? Like, I want to go somewhere where, you know, they got a water fountain out front.
Yeah.
And they, you know, the records are digital.
Yeah.
And not like hard copies.
And National City.
They sent me to National City. And I feel like I just feel like I'm like I've been thrown to the wayside. You can't send me from La Jolla to National City. Is the last I was supposed to have an appointment last week. The doctor, the doctor called and they got an emergency, so we're gonna have to reschedule an appointment. I'm like, this is not starting off well. This is not starting. Y'all living up to the low expectations that I already set when I saw where this appointment was. But I'm just gonna ride with it. But I'm not happy. That's all I got to say. I'm really not happy. Put me back on active duty and send me back to La Jolla, because this ain't it, Big A. This ain't it, VA.
Some of the places they sent us with the baby, like with the insurance and all that, some of them places, I'm like, why the hell are we in these places?
Yeah.
You know, like, wow. Yeah. Hey, but our do better now, our real do better, because our do betters don't matter no more. We get listener do betters. So our real do better is from a listener. And hey, shout out to Toby. Shout out to Toby. You my guy, man. Hey, this a listen to do better. So I'm gonna read it how they wrote it. And then I'm gonna give my thoughts, or whoever we gonna give our thoughts on it. So it says, do better. I just finished the ILDC and it wasn't bad if it was the only course I did recently. Prior to taking that course, I did the Air Force version of the instructor course, NITSE. And I learned more about leadership and addressing situations that can occur in a classroom environment. To me, overall, I could translate all that information and bring it into a divisional, departmental, and sectional leadership. The best example from the course was, here's a list of on-site resources on base: DAPA, VWAC, Commissary, MWR, more. Everyone would select the resource on base and do a 5-minute presentation explaining what the resource was. ILDC really just covered characteristics, moral, and leadership. I bring up that example because on one of your podcast episodes, someone mentioned a seller going through financial issues and taking a loan outside of the military and racking up outrageous APR percentage. To me, I know where I could send my guys now if they go through financial issues. And I know this I know this is long, but if the Navy can do better, it'd be fixing these leadership courses. The leadership courses should be focused on making leader knowledge about what tools are around them, addressing situations, and what type of documentation they should be aware of, evaluation, awards, how to navigate through my Navy HR. So that was what they said. Want me to go first?
Yeah, go ahead, Demo.
Yeah.
Everybody got love for Toby, man. hey, I'm gonna say it like this. Hey, thanks for that. I'll say this. When I went through, I've went through some courses that I wish had like another leg for things that I can apply to my daily job, right? For a lot of courses, I wish some things had another leg. And I think we should add more legs to some of these courses, or add more courses, or add more trainings. What ILDC, all the ELD courses, I like them. I actually really like those courses. I would question, how do we build upon them as you go up? Because I went up as the highest you go. Like I wasn't a junior sailor, so I did it as a chief. So I didn't go like any building blocks. So my question would be, and I'm sure Toby can answer, or somebody, but my question would be, how are we building from the first one to the second one to the third one? Like, how do they improve upon each other? Are our sellers kind of essentially going back through like a refresher course with 1 or 2 additions, right? But I like that course. I think that course is necessary. I think the course that the person in the Do Better is talking about is also necessary. Just like for like CMC course, a lot of CMC courses about the same thing: philosophy, theory, morals, stuff like that. I really like that. Would I have liked something to tell me how to use certain programs that I never used? Like for instance, like how to map. I just mapped I was just a part of, my first map of a seller the other day, and I was excited. Like we mapped, like that was cool to map a seller. But like, you learn that shit in real time. You know what I mean? That wasn't in the SEL course. So I understand the frustration of the seller, but I like the LDC, the ELD courses too. So I think both are necessary, though. I do think we need what he's saying.
Yeah, I agree to it too, man. But to be honest, with the ELD and those courses, I don't know if I'm qualified because I haven't been to them because of my circumstances. And they said, hey, you got to do this and do that, and we need these people and all that stuff. So I didn't get to go to some of these courses, right? But with that being said, though, when I think about what he said, I think about, should it be part of that course or not? Is my first thing. Should it be part of that course? Right? A lot of stuff that I've learned about situations like that, I had this NDoc that was real good on bringing people in and talk about different, fleet and family, and talk about all these different programs. That's kind of how some people learn. But I do get what he's saying, though, on the benefit of what you're learning when you got to do a 5-minute presentation on something, right? If
Yeah.
the amount of work you got to put in and to get up there and talk about it. We know from getting up and talking to people, your 7 minutes can become 2 minutes, right? Because you're going through it, you get through the training so fast. When you got to judge it out, and you got to put some work in to get that the knowledge to get to those 5 minutes. So I can get where he's coming from when it comes to what you are learning from that setting, though, right? Because you guys all on the same page, you all learning the same way, and you putting that type of effort into what you putting out to that group. So I do get that, but I don't know if you think Dumbo is which one he went to?
He said he went to
Nixie?
NITC is what he said. NITC was the Air Force school, but you talk about what school? He went to ILDC.
ILDC.
He went to ILDC.
Do you think? Well, you ain't go to that one either, though.
But it's still the kind of the same core concepts. I don't think that it should be a part of that training.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. Yeah.
It wouldn't go because this training is more. It's more in line with like culture of excellence, like universal seller concepts, like adding on to like warrior mindset. This training is about mindset. So it's not about necessarily about like the resources and like how to apply things and stuff like that. We trying to make people better leaders. So he's talking about like shit you could apply, right? But I believe these ELD courses, we trying to make better leaders from the onset so we could stop becoming E6s and saying that, we could stop becoming E5s and saying that the Chiefs mess is bad, right? That's what I think. That's what this training is for, is to make people better leaders as far as morality and these philosophical kind of things versus, hey, this is where this is at this place and this is how you point this person this direction. It's a two-part thing. Let's make people better leaders. Also, let's give, people the tools that they need to help their sellers. We got to do both. In my opinion, we got to do both.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. I agree.
What about you, Tish?
I'm good on it.
Yeah.
I didn't go to the ILDC, the whatever.
Yeah. You would have went to CPO LDC. Oh, you wouldn't have went to ILDC.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I ain't go to none of that. That all started rolling out right as I was on my way out the door.
It's good. It's like,
but
it's like the show a good
but
place.
I did talk to some people who did go to the CPO one, and they really liked it. They got a lot of good information out of it. So
it could be transformative, honestly. Like depending on who you are, it could be transformative. It's also depending on your instructor. Not your facilitator. Let me say that. It depends on that person. You know what I'm saying? But for the listener, I liked the observation of the course, and I understand your issue. Like I totally get it. Like I understand it. And then shout out to everybody out there that's doing that. But we do need more training and lines of that. All right. Not a do better, but in it like a question, right? So somebody we know, a mutual friend of me and Damon's, sent me something, and I asked him if I could share it. He said, "Go ahead." Says, "Let me start from the beginning." He said, "Good evening. How you been?" But he said, "I kind of need some guidance and mentorship. Basically, in a unique situation where I am screened, selected for orders, and now my command is trying to uphold me because I'm gapping their ability. What do I do in this situation? I've asked the detailers and senior enlisted marketplace management, and it feels like there's a lot of unknowns. It feels like a lot of screen 8s might get their advancement delayed if their commands are unwilling to let them go."
That sounds crazy to me. Like, let me tell you first on how crazy this sounds, man. Like, we are now holding up people from advancing.
Yeah.
Right? That's not, I don't blame the ship. Right? This is a process, man, that we have to do better at on how we're going to feel the road. These questions I'm assuming we have, before this program rolled out, I know these questions been asked, and I know this,
probably
man.
Not, bro. Probably not.
I don't know, man. Like
they probably haven't been asked.
They had okay,
Probably not.
maybe not. You're right.
I'm gonna give like last details on it, like just so we got it. He said the request to uphold him until May 2025. He's supposed to get frocked next month, and he's supposed to transfer in December, and they want to uphold him until May 2025. All right, so now y'all know that. But back to the matter at hand, bro. I don't think everything was discussed when this shit was rolled out, bro.
So let me throw this in there. He don't get paid until he gets to that command. So what's really happening here? He's supposed to got there in December, meaning he get frocked in November because it's 30 days prior. And when he gets to that command, he gets paid. So now you have skipped that's 5 or 6 months now of not getting paid for senior chief that you're taking away from this sailor. Like, I don't know if we looking at it like that, but that's how I'm looking. He's gonna get back paid.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
That's my question.
What's going to happen with that?
And I guess he don't lose the selection though, right? Like he been selected, right? Like he don't lose.
No, he's
right. He don't lose the screen, right? He don't lose the screen, right?
I don't think so, because check this out. Check that command that he's going to needs a senior chief.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Right. So it's other senior chief people that screen.
Yeah.
Right? They still trying to make rank 2. So how about that other person that you didn't pick this cycle? Right? So now this person didn't get picked that cycle. They could have took those orders and went.
Yeah.
Right? So we're kind of now holding them hostage shoe, because now you holding this sailor up. This sailor can't even go now.
Can't they
So
fight
it's a
for
lot.
him? Because when I was on a Peralta, I believe, if I remember right, they tried to keep me again a little bit longer. And my next command was like, nah. Let him go. Let him go. So I'm wondering if they could, I'm confused a little bit. Damn.
I don't know, because hey, I'm not the expert on this, so you guys can get, can say, give me the truth about this. But it's difference in, I think, uphold and delay in reporting. Delay in reporting, that's kind of between two commands type deal. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But uphold, you getting new orders.
Yeah,
You know
and
what I
ain't
mean?
this billet-based distribution? Ain't this all billet-based distribution anyway?
Yeah. But I'm saying you getting new orders. So now you're executing whatever orders those are. So I don't think they can fight whatever. I don't know the fight. You know, if you got new orders, what's the fight? You got orders now.
Yeah. So I guess your promotion is just so you don't fall back into the pool then. I guess your promotion is just on hold. Your promotion is on hold.
Yeah.
And you're going to lose
money. You possibly could lose the order to somebody that's waiting. Somebody could be waiting right there.
Say.
Yeah. No, y'all gonna have to promote. They're gonna have to promote me. Y'all gotta promote me, man. Y'all gotta put senior chief on, man. Y'all gotta promote me, yo.
Hey, that's where you think I was waiting a year, bro. A full year.
Yeah.
I was waiting.
Yeah, but if you uphold me, come on. Y'all gotta approve the promotion at least. Promote me, man.
Did something.
Or do because what is it? The CAP program or whatever? The
C2P or something? C2P?
Yeah, C2P. Mm-hmm. Yeah, do something like that a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Give me whatever, modify. We got to figure something out.
Yeah, I say if you uphold him, you go ahead and freaking promote his ass.
Promote him.
Let him get his pay. You know what I mean? Or whatever. Because now, man, you taking 6 months from this guy, man.
Yeah, 6 months is a long time.
Who earned it. And we've been talking, and that's one of the deterrents for people with SCM is they feel like they earned it. Now they going into a pool. So now we got an example with somebody who earned it, and now he getting upheld and can't even put it on or get paid for it until, whatever time. So that's, at least figure out a way. If we're going to uphold people, then we need to figure out a way to frock them when they supposed to get frocked, in my opinion. At least do that.
Yeah.
Right. You going to have to send me to my next command so I can get my paper, and then you can send me TAD back.
Yeah, work something like that out. Yeah. Work it out like that. However you want to.
Send me TAD back.
Yeah.
This might be a question for PERS. We might want to have an ask that question because that's
crazy
right there.
That's
what are that?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know the answer, so that's questionable.
Yeah, most definitely.
You ain't got the answer, Sway.
Right. He said, yo, we could take these mics off. He said, yo, Sway was so mad at Kanye. He said, we could turn all this shit off, dog. Like, man to man. Kanye so frustrated. It ain't right. He said, hold on, yo. Yeah, he said, hey, I know we've been potting for a minute, right? I know you get a. He said, I got a clothing line of my own. Kanye looked at him like, is you crazy? He said, it ain't Ralph, though. He ain't even looking at him no more. He just was looking. He was like, it ain't Ralph level. It ain't Ralph. Sway was like, yo, man, you're not even going to disrespect me. We can take these mics off. We can take, you're not just going to disrespect me on my own show. Like, as a man, bro, you ain't got the answer, Sway.
That interview was hilarious.
That shit was so funny, yo. Kanye was on like a tour just doing wacky ass interviews for like a year.
Yeah.
Book of the week. Book of the week. Armed with Good Intentions by Wallow 267. I don't call him Wallow 267. I call him Wallow.
Wallow.
But good book. But the author name, he called himself Wallow 267. So out of respect for the author name, that's the author. Wallow, Wallow did like 20 years and 25 years in jail or something like that. He did like 6 years or something, got out, and then like did a crime like a couple months after he got out and went back to jail for like 20 years or something like that. Yeah. I really like Wallow. I'm a big fan of Wallow. I think he doing everything the way it should be done. He respected in all kind of circles of like at least hip hop community and stuff like that. Like he's a shining example of somebody who did the time, came home, well, after the second time, and did not look back. Had a plan. I think he like did a video. He had like $1,000 or $100 or something in the video when he first got home at his grandma's house. I think it was 1,000. Then he flipped that. Then he flipped that. Then he flipped that. Then he flipped that. Now I know they sitting on some figure. I know him and Gilly sitting on mad money. So I appreciate that. I appreciated the story. Again, it was a first book from Wallow. He narrated it. He got a Philly accent. He been in jail for 20 years. So, you know, some of the words and stuff sounded like somebody from Philly, but it felt like I was back home. I got no complaints about the book. I think everybody should check it out, man. Good book from Wallow. Thank you for just existing. Wallow is inspirational. It's definitely an inspiration to me.
Nice.
Especially coming out of Philly. So that was my book of the week right there.
Most definitely. Sounds good.
Hey, that's it, man. We done hit 3 hours. On the 4th anniversary, we didn't pass 3 hours flying. And it's late for me. It's almost 12 o'clock at night for me, y'all.
Damn. That's dedication.
Yeah, it's almost 12 for me, y'all. But
must be on leave or something.
Yeah, I'm on leave, baby. That's why I got some hair on my face. Man,
definitely, man.
Yeah, again, love y'all. Appreciate y'all. And love the listeners. Appreciate the listeners.
Most definitely. I got to get up out of here, man. I got to get on the way tomorrow, So I'll see you guys in about a fresh ass month, man. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But hey, you guys know what it is. And I ain't said it in a long time. It's been a hot minute. Mississippi,
go ahead.
Stand up.
I want to respect you, but I can't. And I'm going to tell you why. 'Cause